Yeah, make all the demons quiet. Yeah, we were built to thrive. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night? Yeah, make all the demons quiet. Yeah, we were built to thrive. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive and save it. What keeps you up at night? Yeah, make all the demons quiet. Yeah, we were built to thrive. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night? Yeah, make all the demons quiet. Yeah, we were built to thrive. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Oh, look at me. I'm retarded. I'm a globe.
No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you broke, your love life's the old way. It's like you're always stuck in second gear. When it hasn't been your day, week, your month, even your year. But I'll be there for you when the race starts to go. I'll be there for you like I've never been before. I'll be there for you, 'cause I'm there for you.
The whole system is designed to disconnect you from your intuition. Why? Disconnected people are easy to manipulate. Everything from sunscreen to politics to the food industry. It's all designed to disconnect and manipulate you. We are in the middle of a war right now, but it's not a traditional war. It's a war on consciousness. It's a war on freedom. This is the time to listen, not to the news. No, your intuition, your gut, your heart. Love is the greatest weapon against darkness. How do you love more? You begin by loving yourself. How do you love yourself? You listen to the messages your body is telling you.
Nobody is coming to save you. Get up. Be your own hero.
Slaves used to work all day, every day, with no pay. But they got free food, water, and shelter. Today, we work all day, nearly every day, and we get paid. But the money we make, we spend on food, water, and shelter. We're still slaves. The only thing that has changed is the illusion of freedom.
I'm scared, Dad.
Do you trust me, son?
Yes.
Come on, son.
Rule number one, never trust anybody.
Stop! Don't touch me there. This is my no-no square. Stop! Don't touch me there. This is my no-no square.
Now let me see you Now drop it to the flow, drop it to the flow then. Now lean.
Gravy make a splash like Pippin. Shit, that's nothing. Splash. Everybody call me Big Pimpin'. No, I ain't bluffing. I'm with your mom in the kitchen, making blueberry muffins.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce. Don't get that honey sauce on me. I don't like the way it tastes with my chicken wings.
Chicken banana, chicken banana, chicken banana, banana, banana.
Hey man, just wanna let you know that sometimes you gotta shut the fuck up. You gotta shut the fuck up. And this current time is just one of those times you gotta shut the fuck up.
I don't think you're a bad person, I just don't want to hear you talking anymore. You gotta shut the fuck up.
I remember when I lost my mind.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind, where we unchain your mind from the shackles of the shit that they plastered to it and welded into your poor little brain when you was just a little kid marching down the road, happy to go to school with your little lunchbox clutched in your hand. And you get there and the indoctrination begins. What a joke. What a fucking joke. Anyway, you got to learn to have a sovereign soul as well. Boy, this green screen's really kind of glitchy tonight. It's really weird, but that's fine. Maybe it's I don't have the light pushed toward me right. Exactly. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't really care. Anyway, it's Tuesday night. Good to see everybody that's here tonight. Who we got? We got Brian Roy here. We got KK Westbury. Don H is here. We've got Neo the One. Next chapter. You ain't seen nothing yet. Baby. Veronica Joseph's here. The Fallen saves us all. I like music where they stutter. Okay? That's just me. That's how I am. We got Saddlebum is here. We got Lord Racer. You got to say it like that. Lord Racer. We got Nate X is here too. We got, let's see who else is. Eldon Bean is here. US Ape, good to see you, my man. Singe Man. I've got some really good cop interactions you'll want to see too. Kind of illustrating the totalitarianism we're really headed into. They get dumber and dumber. It used to be they got dumber with every day. Now it's like every shift. Tommy's here. Who else we got? Tommy Rogers. Awesome. Lowry's in here. Who else? The Canuck. D Canuck. Who else? Redneck Enki. I like that. Sunny side up chilling. Look at there. Tommy Rogers. Oh my God, we got so many. I'll have to keep going and going and going. There's hundreds of people showing up in here. It's over fucking whelming, y'all. But that's all right. That's what we're here to be, overwhelmed. I'm going to turn this light just for a minute. See if that makes any kind of difference. Yeah, a little bit of one. Look there. Dun, 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 dun.
What's happening?
What's happening, brother?
I guess my mic's working, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, I can hear you.
That's what I figured. Okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure. It was being goofy.
There's Liberty guy off grids in here. He jumped in here too. No Juan here. I see what you did there. With that no Juan. I am getting a little bit of an echo from you though, Cubby.
All right.
So did y'all know about the timeline between Oh, he's going to pop back in here in just a minute. He's fixing up some problems he might be having back there at the old homestead with the technographical shit. No one tastes the goodness of the biscuit. Yo, absolutely. Absolutely. That biscuit must be taste. Anyway, there is the rise of power of the Rothschild family corresponds almost exactly to the period of the Great Reset of 1776 that people have theorized about. And I think it holds a lot of water. It really does. And like I said before, if this millennial reign has already occurred, and I would consider they figure a millennia to be like an entire cycle, and that if Satan is released for a short season, I figure there's 4 seasons and 1/4 of a millennium is 250 years. Well, hello, we are at 250 years. Now, that's given that our timeline is absolutely accurate and true. We have to question everything because we're finding out everything's big fucking lies. I don't know if any of y'all watched my lunch breaks video that came out today. Dude, they literally admitted that they have nothing, no blueprints, nothing for these structures. Like the, what do they call that thing? The Big Ben is the clock. That's the bell. But it's called the Elizabeth Tower, I think, is what the name of it is.
I'm not for certain, but that's probably
yeah,
right.
Yeah, and it's like there's nobody can build any shit like that. Oh my god, I dropped buds everywhere.
Yeah, it's like when I went to the Yerkes Observatory and I asked the guy, they said that, oh, they burned the blueprints up. It's like, why would you do that?
Right,
For
right.
What
Keep it a
reason?
secret. We don't want people to know how to build an observatory of sneaky fuckers. We want to be the only ones. Okay.
Well, it was a stolen building to begin with, but yeah.
Of course it was. Of course it was. It probably not intended for using with a telescope either. Probably for some other purpose altogether. You know, I mean, yeah, I mean, maybe a power transfer relay or some kind of shit like that. There'd have to be a, you know, why else have a sliding open door on it, you know,
Right.
in a domed building? Why has it got to be domed for the telescope, you know?
Right.
It don't make any sense. That's the thing too with the baptismal. Well, after a little while here, we'll go ahead and get into some more of the lost history of flat Earth. I approximated where we were at, so I'm a little bit before that, so that's all right. We'll just deal with that, man, because somehow my media player fell out, and you know, it closed up, and then I forgot if I was an hour or an hour and a half into that show. So anyway, that's
good to see everyone too.
Yeah. What was I going to say about that? There was something else I wanted to say about that. Well, it'll come back around. God bless it.
About my lunch break or something else? Oh, the lost history.
That's
all right.
Yeah, I don't know. See, well, y'all don't know what's going on over here when this whole thing is starting up. You get the little countdown and then the intro and all those little funny fucking videos and shit. Meanwhile, Sav's sitting over here torquing on that bowl like it's going on.
Yeah.
So sometimes memory, you know, it goes away. Listen, that's everybody I work with too. I swear to God.
Something will bring it back up again. You'll remember.
I've just become accustomed, and everybody's become accustomed that if somebody hollers out a measurement, just fucking write it down, even if you're not helping them. Even if you're not helping them, because sooner or later, the next guy's going to say, "What was that measurement again?" And I'm just going to holler over 45 3/8. You know.
Yeah, that's why I always just if I'm on a board or something, I'll just write it on the board or whatever. You know, just as a backup.
And mental dyslexia, that'll get me. Somebody will say, 36 and a half, and I start stretching out to 63 and a half, and I'm like, 36, dumbass, 36. It's crazy. It's all right. I got an excuse. I fell. Did I tell you what happened a couple nights ago? This was crazy. So I was getting healed up really good, right? where I'm getting around real good. I'm not even using a cane or nothing, you know. It just starts to get tired toward the end of the day, but you know, and hurting a bit. But so far, so good. And then I was bitching about, you know, them stupid fucking seals they put on orange juice. I was opening up orange juice and I was saying something to the wife about it, and I wasn't looking where I was going. I was going to go throw it in the garbage can. Well, I didn't know it. Moonshadow, the stealth velociraptor, she had come in and laid down. And she'll just come in and lay down, and you don't even know it. She's right there and she's dark. Well, I tripped over her, and I'll be god dang if I didn't go down. And in my effort to not land on the poor little gal, I ended up landing right on that fucking injured hip. I'm like, oh,
you're gonna have to get a pad for that thing or something.
Jesus Christ, I'm gonna start wearing pillows in my pants or something. Jesus Christ. But it didn't hurt it, you know, just for the moment or so. So yeah, I'm still okay.
Yep. Always getting those warnings.
The Rothschilds destroyed Tartaria, they say.
The Rothschilds destroyed Tartaria. Please, let me explain. Their timeline is exactly the same as the reset. Take a look at this. If you look at the Rothschilds timeline, it's the same as the Great Reset in 1776. Look at this, guys. It's uncanny. When the Rothschilds were becoming established, it's exactly the same time as when Tartaria was on their downfall and the reset was happening. Has anyone ever looked at this? It's obvious, guys. Again, in 1776, it's the same timeline as the Rothschilds timeline. When they were coming into power, it was the same time as the Great Reset, guys, and the mud floods. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Also, this is the Rothschilds' humble abode. Look at the etheric technology on the top. I think they were a Tartarian family, and they took over, and they knew exactly what was happening, so they made a new world order. Also, the Rothschilds connected to the Oddfellows. The Oddfellows were in charge of all the orphanages through the reset, and the Cabbage Patch Kids. Bit weird, yeah? Also, the Rothschilds funded all the wars, and the wars were only there to destroy all of the old world architecture, guys. Ain't it really adding up now? Understand? And last but not least, the Rothschilds loaned £400,000 back in 1850s. Today, that would be 4.7 billion to the Catholic Church. Come on, guys. They took it from old world to new world, can't you see? And they also destroyed all of the world fairs.
I wonder how did they get that name, Oddfellows?
I don't know. Excuse me, but you know they use that in all them schools and stuff, like fellow of or whatever. You know,
fellowships and
like I'm a fellow, dignitary fellow of this and that. Yeah. By the way, you were at the hour and 4 minute mark of that lost history.
Okay, cool. I'm right there then. I guessed it right. Within 1 minute.
4 minutes and 14 seconds or something.
Within a half a minute is where I got up to. And that's hard to do on that slider with a movie that long. It really is. You move
about
just
4 hours, right?
Yeah, well,
3 hours and 50 something minutes.
4 hours, almost 5. There's a lot to it. Yeah. But yeah, okay, cool. I judged it just right then. Cool. I'm so cool.
Write it down. Don't forget it.
So, the last show we did on Fight Night, if you want to see the entire thing and you didn't watch or anything, and you want to see the entire thing, you got to go over to Rumble. Okay. You got to go over to Rumble. I got up the next day and I was like, wonder how many views that got. And I went and pulled it up and it said this had a little like no smoking symbol on it, you know. I'm like, fuck, man, what? So I go into the analytics thing and I go in there and it said, and there was like a shitload of everything that was UFC. Yeah. They made me take out of there. And so I was like, okay, well, just to make it visible. And then I'll just mention it on the next show that if you want to see the entire thing, the White Trash Festival at the White House, go over to Rumble and watch it there. You can catch everything over there. Even if they cut it, if they delete it off of here or cut the stream or whatever, it's still going over on Rumble. So if anything ever happens like that, and make sure you're subscribed to my backup. We've got 123 people on the YouTube side. Just hit that like button, everybody. It helps the algorithm, and God, we need it. Cubby's on here all the time, right? And
Yes, sir.
he
Most
didn't
of the
get a
time.
yeah, and he didn't get a fucking notification for the last show or nothing, man.
No, I even checked. I was like, oh, I figured you would have been doing the show, right? I went to your channel and it didn't even show anything as in live, like you were live or anything. I was like, what the hell?
See.
And I checked back again later too, nothing. But then the next day, well, no, it was so Sunday, yeah, last night it showed up that you did a live, and that was like a first thing on my feed when I open it up in YouTube. It's like, oh, okay.
And then if you go to try to watch it, it was probably cut up like shit.
I think it was all right. I watched some of it. It seemed all right. Well, I mean, whatever you cut out of it, I'm sure it was gone. But
yeah,
I
it was
mean, the rest of
anything
it was fine.
UFC, I think.
Yeah.
Because I go in there and I see what it is, and it says take action, and I click on it. And there was like a list of clips this long, man, that had UFC. And I was
Paramount.
like, just
Anything same. You ain't gonna be able to do South Park or anything Paramount related.
Yeah.
No. Eventually, you ain't gonna be able to do anything. They own all the music.
Right.
They own all the news station. Not that you need to show any of this crap. I'm just saying they own all this. Eventually, it's gonna be everything when it's all said and done.
Yeah. Which who cares? Fuck them.
Yeah.
This is pretty crazy. This is a neat video, because this cop, he shows up on this property, right? He doesn't know who this guy is. And he starts asking him to identify himself or else he's trespassing and shit. And he's like, wait a minute, how do you even know who I am? You'll see, this is fucking great, man. I was like, I had so many questions in my head, and I'm sure they'll pop back up as they come along. But Yolo County, it just says a lot right there.
Go ahead, ask the question.
Do you have permission to be on the property?
And what would you do if I don't answer that question? What did you just say? You have the right to do what?
I have the right to investigate further whether or not you belong on this property.
And how would you do that?
I would contact the property.
Why don't you do that?
I will.
Thank you.
But first of all, I need you to identify yourself as part of the investigation.
This is private property.
Yes, it is, and you're on it.
What's your badge number, sir?
160.
160. Yes. Okay, so 911 call is irrelevant because I didn't call 911. Okay.
No, it's
so now
it's relevant because I'm here, and now you're here, and I don't know if you have the right to be on this property. It's a house under construction. Do you belong to this house?
Why don't you call the property owner?
I need to determine who you are so I can call the property owner and find out if you're allowed to be here or not.
How would you know who the property owner is?
I can call the county and find out who owns the property.
Why don't you do that?
I need to identify you first.
Why?
I'm on private property.
Okay. You should, and if you shouldn't be on private property, then you're trespassing.
Thank you. So why don't you determine that?
Well, I can.
There's no problem. If you call the property owner.
Okay. Well, then I need to detain you then.
The property owner, is that correct?
If you have rights to be on the property, yes.
So you're gonna first identify me.
Yes.
So you are gonna first identify me.
Yes.
Right? And then what do you plan to do? This is private property, sir. I would like you to leave.
Do you own the property?
I would. This is private. What did you just say?
You don't own this property.
And what did you say to that answer of that question that you just answered yourself?
What?
You just answered that question yourself.
I'm not leaving the property.
You need to get off my property, sir.
What?
You need to get off my property. You need to get off my property. You need to get off my property. Why are you not getting off my property?
51 about with
Let's go, bro. Let's go inside my house. Let's go inside.
That's all I needed was for you to confirm that.
And I know you're bull. People are gonna come back here. Get the off my land. Okay?
I just want you to understand why I have.
And I told you to get the off.
But I didn't know whether or not you belonged here, and then you verified that.
You didn't have to do that before you called.
It was somebody else on your property. What if it was somebody else that was on your property?
You are such a loser. Nobody gives a about you, okay? Nobody and I feel threatened. My civil rights are threatened by the state of California, by this who's Choctaw. Look at him. Oh, look at you. I'm not calming down. You know what? And you're going to see me. You just looked at my minivan. Now you're going to see me on this street, and I know you're going to give me a ticket, you dumb. You dumb. You know why I'm in this country? Because you're a mother with a gun, right? And we got to bitch up your ass because you guys can't become doctors. And then with that money, we buy your land back. Dumb. And I'll tell you what I'm souped up on. I'm going to go show you my van, too. Okay, so you can inspect it, okay?
So this is what
This is the weekend here.
this is the 911 call.
You should see my son when the Russians came on. He said, "Get the off my land." It was hilarious. And the guy ran off. Yeah. All right. Now let's go inside. I'll show you why I'm so souped up. Okay. Let's go. Okay. Let's go into my van. Let's go. No, let's go. I want this on the video. No, it's gonna be hilarious. No, I'm gonna make more fun of you. Come on, let's go. You know what it is, dude? It's 500 calories of M&Ms, dude. Get the off this land. You come again, I'm calling the police. Okay. There's a man with a gun who has a right to call more white men with a gun on land that has been seceded from this great state of California. This is our Das Acre stand, and this mother gonna get off. Okay? Sayonara.
They just think that because they got a fucking suit and a little shiny shit thing on their chest that they can just do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, he definitely, other people do too. They do too much talking to him though. Like, don't invite him in your house. Don't just say this is private property. Be gone and be done with it.
Yep.
You know, you spend too much time talking. Like they're trying to perjure you or get you to perjure yourself, I should say.
Giving them more shit to ask dumb questions about.
Right.
Yeah. Because they'll ask a stupid fucking question about the minutia of some shit you just said. Your best bet is you don't fucking answer questions.
No.
Okay? You don't have a right to remain silent. You have an obligation to, because anything you can't say can and will be used against you in a court of corruption. There's D-Man. What's up? Oh, God. Oh, look at him showing the Simpsons satellite. just to get by that whole little thing.
I love that. I always remembered that from The Simpsons. So I took a screenshot of it.
Well, you know, the creator of The Simpsons, everybody's like, oh, look at this guy.
Matt Gearing.
He predicts all this shit and everything. And come to find out, he was on the Epstein list, man. He was down there partying out at the island. He was in on this shit.
Mm.
Yeah, of course.
Very disappointing. Very disappointing.
Yeah, that's part of the ruling class, without a doubt. There's the ruling class, the middle class is dissolving, and then you're going to be part of the rest. That's the name of the game at this point.
We're not the people who are on a need-to-know basis.
No.
That's basically
Oh, my God. That clown. I think he's had a small stroke. Trump, I think he's had a small stroke.
You think looking at all those sweaty dudes at the other thing kind of set him over
might
the
have
edge?
been it. It might have been it. But he seems to be weak on his right side. He doesn't shake hands like he did. His arm just kind of hangs there. He had like saliva slurpy noises more than usual in his speech, which means he's not being able to regulate his saliva, being able to swallow it. Which is a natural thing that you do. I've said it, man. He's lived longer than I thought he was going to make. I mean, really, he has. And he was looking rough at that G7 thing, man.
My dad had a stroke, and he didn't have the he didn't get the paralyzed side. He lost the ability to use that leg and his arm on that side. His arm came back, but his leg didn't. And I thought that was weird, but he didn't get the strokey face or any of that stuff.
Right. Don't they call it a TIA, don't they? It's like a little mini stroke. My mom had a bunch of those and didn't even realize it.
It was scary. I'll never forget it. I'll never ever forget that. I'm not gonna. But I mean, he was yelling for me. It was like 5 a.m, and I hear my name, and I'm like, "What's going on?" And I heard him, and I'm thinking something's, what's going on? And he goes, "Come on, help me up." And I was like, "What do you mean, help you up? What's the matter?" And I knew right there something was wrong because you couldn't stop my dad. You couldn't stop him. He was a train. If something had to get done, he was up and already doing it. Like he, and he's like, I went to get up, I can't get up, and he just started bawling, and I knew something was wrong right there. It was horrible, and he scared the shit out of him. And he was not the type of person that was going to be scared of anything. Like tough as nails, ex-Navy, that type of guy, and it was horrible. But he didn't get that strokey face. He didn't get any of that. He just got the physicality of it, like his arm and leg.
Oh, I was a little worried. I take things as they come. I get maybe a little bit worried, but I don't let worry consume me. Things happen, they're going to happen.
Yeah, there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it anyway.
I was sitting here the other night, and all of a sudden, I just went fucking blind in my right eye. Could not see out of my right eye at all. And I was like, I just looked over at the wife with my other eye. I was looking at her with both eyes to her, but I could only see her out of my left eye. And I said, I've gone blind in my right eye. She's like, what? I said, yeah. It says nothing. It's like gray. And I closed my left eye, and that's all it was just gray. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And then it's like slowly started coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I get migraines. I'm a mild.
Well, there was no pain involved or nothing like that. It was just like all of a sudden, just went shoot, it's gone now.
I have a damaged nerve in my eye, and what happens is sometimes I get a migraine, and then I lose part of my peripheral vision disappears, and I get tunnel vision in one eye, and it's some kind of problem with the nerve from the accident I had. It damaged the nerve in my eye. So sometimes when I get that like where it's all just blurry as hell. It's just nothing I can do about it. It's just because it's it's damaged. So sometimes it just acts up. I don't know. Life is what it is, man. The time's gonna come where you're gonna get punched in the gut, and that's gonna be it. What are you gonna
nobody
do
gets
about
out
it?
of here alive, man.
Nope. No, we're all going away, as Colin said. We're going away.
Well, not really. We're just gonna stop being here.
Yeah, I know.
I kind of look at it like we're a point of attention from our higher conscience.
You're changing form. The medium is changing. Your medium is changing.
There you go. To the ether, to the aether.
Yeah.
What's going to replace it?
Yeah, something's got to replace it.
When the wind arises.
Is it what?
I said when the wind arises.
There you go.
That's it.
So I'm going to ask you to leave.
I'm going to say no.
Okay, and then you'll go to the jail.
Do what you got to do.
Okay, do me a favor, turn around.
I'm out on the street. You going to take me to jail right here?
Well,
go ahead. Go ahead. Come on.
You're going to go to jail.
And it's all good, man. I'll just attach myself to your pension. Where's the fence? Where's the sign? That's not the way it works. That's not how 602 works. You don't get to just pick. These have to be posted. I have to cross a fence, door, barrier, something that's closed and locked that I'm not supposed to be past. You can't just say, well, we just don't want you here, so this is private.
As long as you go back onto the property, you'll go to jail, and then you can fight that in court.
Here we go. All good, bro. And then I'll see you in a deposition in about 6 months to 12 months, and we'll go from there, too. If you want to be that dumb and not respect our First Amendment rights to come and film on public property, then do what you're going to do. I got standing already. I can literally walk away right now and sue you because you threatened me with arrest from going back on there. Keep going. I love it. It's not posted and it is open to the public. Like I said, I have standing. I don't need your directives. Bye-bye.
Yeah, that's Bay Area transparency.
Yeah,
voice.
This shit's like he knows what the fuck he's talking about too, man. That's for real. But these fuckers, they get so petty. And no wonder they call them pigs, man. They always have like a piggish face. You ever notice that?
Yeah.
Look at this fucking guy. Wait till you see this fucker.
You should see the Ron Durbin one. You see the new Ron Durbin ones that came out today? Ron Durbin.
I have not seen that yet. No.
I'll put a link in for you. So you sub to his channel. He's really good. He's an ex-lawyer who got pulled out of the bar because he started to actually do really good things, what a lawyer should be doing. And they disbarred him like in the snap of a finger because he was.
Yeah, I follow him. I know who he is. Yeah. Wasn't he for a while? Wasn't he collaborating with Accountability for All? Josh.
Yeah. He was in New Jersey a while ago.
Josh don't take no shit either, man. I'll tell you that right now, boy.
His newest ones that he come out with today are wild. Where they have they're going to put an aluminum smelting plant in some little ass town in the middle of nowhere in Oklahoma. And
Oh God,
yeah, it's just a shit show. I'm telling you, man.
that's all we need.
it's just gonna create a new friggin' super fund. That's all it's gonna
Yeah,
do.
of course.
That's all
And
it's
all
gonna
this
do.
dumb shit, man. These AI centers. I got another one of a guy. They come up on his property and arrested him for a post that he was organizing.
Yeah.
A protest against the data center.
Yeah.
And it's fucking crazy, man.
You
Do you
can
have
see
any idea
how
on your
far.
man?
What is it?
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say you can see how far they'll go to just do things against your will, even
Oh
things that
yeah.
people don't want. They're just like, we don't care. We're gonna do it anyway. What do we care?
Yep.
It's bad.
Watch this jarhead.
Do you have any idea on you, my man?
ID.
No, I don't.
ID?
Got ID.
No, I don't.
Okay. Can you do me a favor? Just step onto the sidewalk.
Look,
no, onto the sidewalk.
Look,
so you're.
this whole thing is the sidewalk, right?
No.
Let me ask you a question, right? So if I was walking by, am I supposed to just float over this part right here?
No, you can walk across it, but for you to exercise your right, you have to be on the sidewalk that they built. Yes.
Okay.
So just on the like
what,
that.
What you're saying
2
is
feet that way. Yes.
six inches.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, because they have to pay to install this. This is their curtilage.
Yeah, I'm within my rights exactly where I am.
All right. Do you have any ID on you, my man?
No, I don't.
ID?
No, I don't.
Okay, cool.
That's Johnny.
You have a YouTube channel or anything like that?
No, I'm not going to answer any questions.
Okay.
I was just going to tell them that they were dismissed, but you know what? I won't give that to them.
That's Johnny. That's Fappa.
Yeah, I love that. I love his shit. He's funny.
He's from Massachusetts, man. He's from southern Massachusetts.
Well, guys, it looks like their little tentative peace agreement shit that everybody was.
Oh, is it over already?
Oh, fuck yeah! It says here.
How long did that take?
I don't know. This was 7 hours ago. It said Iran just launched an attack on Israel with 300 of its newest missiles.
Oh.
Oh, you get the gist.
So basically, they just said, no, we don't want peace, but we want peace. So here, we're going to launch a friendly missile at you.
Yeah, well, that's in retaliation.
Oh, so now the Iran's firing back, really?
Okay, yeah. See, they told Israel that this peace deal incorporates them not attacking fucking
Lebanon
anymore and to get the fuck out of Lebanon. So instead of doing that, they fired on some more of Lebanon. So Iran retaliated and fired on them.
Listen, so if you're wrong, Israel wants peace, okay?
Shit. Shit.
Cubby is in agreement.
Yeah, I bet.
That Israel wants peace. Of course.
They're known as a very peaceful nation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lots of running.
They're our greatest
hiding.
ally.
Yeah.
Listen, that fucking country so far doesn't have a history. It has a criminal record. That's basically it. You know, it's the places they've just been dirty, fucking sneaky shit from day one, man.
Yeah. You seen that thing we played on the other show, the last show I was on, where they polled, I think it was in 36 countries, and almost none of them, only out of 2 countries were positive. Out of 36, like literally everybody it was over plus 50 of the population were like, of the people they polled said, no, we don't like these people.
No, I'm not. I see shit like on Facebook. I'll see where there's a public post about something. It's like, 4 IDF soldiers lost their life in Lebanon today, and there's people put a bunch of hearts or laughy emojis. There's nobody with this, I care about it and shit, you know? I always look at that. I look at reactions. I look at the reactions and see what I get on there. And that's another thing. The Globetards posts are getting fucking ratioed like a son of a bitch. Even Tune. His shit's getting ratioed. He's putting up shit. People are just laughing at him and going, shut the fuck up.
Yep.
You know?
I think everybody knows. I don't think I have to say it again. I've been saying it for almost over a year now, that when it comes to the physicality, that stuff is done. It's done. You can very easily work out that all the things that they're saying, promoting, whatever, as fact is not even close.
No,
you can just go out and do tests yourself and find out real quick that shit, I shouldn't be seeing that far. There should be curvature there. I can use your calculator and prove you wrong in 10 seconds. I don't even have to sit there and
liquid water and fluid dynamics destroys every
the
it's
orientation of your body. It's always vertical. Your angle is never changing when you travel, neither on in anything, any car, boat, truck, van, plane, helicopter. It doesn't matter. It's just at this point they're just saying the shit they are because they have to. That's it. That's all it comes down to now.
I had one guy start getting mad at me. I mean, I proved him absolutely wrong, and he got mad at me. I says, "Why are you angry? You should be happy that you actually learned something and stop believing something that was false. Why would you get mad at me for steering you in the right direction? What's wrong with you?"
It's the same 10 characters all the time. They're just agents. There's no. It's they're not even.
If they have some kind of a stupid fucking made up name, I just tell them. I said, you don't have it. I just tell them right off. I'm like, you have no credibility. You're a coward that hides behind a made up name. Fuck off. You know, if you gotta hide your identity for that shit, then there's something fucking wrong. There's something already dishonest about you. So don't even engage in the arena. Nobody cares.
Sorry.
They're the only people that come after us or anybody else. You know, there's no flat earthers out there going after Glovers, attacking Glovers. That's all you need to know. It's crazy.
And there's no FE trollers either. No one's going around with alt accounts and giving effing up people's stuff. There's no little kid minions running around drinking 40s online and being an ass anywhere. That isn't happening. Right.
Yeah, making up Flurfopedia pages and
I don't have to do it.
You know, that kind of fucking stupid shit. Calling the police, calling people's employers and shit like that. Those are just sheepdog that are trying to take the strays, get the renegades to get back in fucking herd. See, it's not working, and it pisses them off because the more that's in the herd that sees the free range sheep going fuck the sheepdog. Yeah, they follow suit.
This is growing without having to make it grow. You're teaching people. I mean, I'm not teaching anybody, but the idea is that you will think of it yourself. You'll think about it yourself critically, and you'll work it out yourself by listening to other people's ideas.
You have to be able to open your mind to learning, and part of that is having to unlearn the bullshit that you learned, because it was immersed into you so hard. These people, I shut them down all the time. Where is your firmament? And I said, you see it every fucking time you look up. What are you talking about? Well, I don't see it. I'm like, wait, what do you think you're looking at when you look up at the night sky? Do you think you're looking off into infinity and out into space and shit? All because of an illusion created by the intensity and size of the lights in the ceiling? What the fuck is wrong with you?
And I don't know why.
That's because somebody told you that. That's because somebody fucking told you that.
Yeah. And I don't know why they're looking up at the sky to prove what's below your feet.
I know.
And you know, you'll find out that the majority of these people don't even have a clue what they're arguing against. They don't even understand. I mean, these lower level ones don't even understand majority of the time what they're even against. They don't even understand it. So then that's why that guy got mad, because you said something that he never thought of, and now he thought of it, and now he's pissed off because holy shit, you just made me think. That's why
they've been conditioned to regurgitate a narrative all their lives. So then when you actually come back at them with something, they have nothing to say because they don't know what to say.
They were hit with phrases. Well, and they were hit with phrases like this. When you look through a telescope, we see that all the other planets, already assuming that where you're standing is a planet, right? When we look through a telescope, we see that all the other planets are round, so it's logical to assume that we are too. There's nothing logical about that at all. Why first did you assume that you're viewing these things from a planet in the first place? Because some fucking wizard told you so. That's why. Okay. And looking at something does not determine what you're standing on. There's no logic at all. So affirming that it's only logical, right within that phrase, there's assumption.
Yep.
You see, and that's where they get you. People are a victim of word magic all the time. They don't really dissect what's been said. Like I love that one. I've never killed anyone that didn't deserve it. No, I did not say that I've killed anyone at all. But the assumptive mind will assume, based on what I said, that I have killed people, but they were people that deserved it. No, I did not say that at all.
It's crazy that they think that what's below your feet is looking up at the sky is going to prove what the shape of what's below your feet is insane. It has you're going to something that you've never been, you don't know anything about, and you're simply making presumptions the whole time about everything into something that you can physically test right below your feet, and you can get on a plane and test the angle of the plane movement. You can take a drive, you can walk, you can do all these things on the ground that'll clearly show you that you're wrong.
Well, it's demonstrable, Daryl. Think about the planetarium, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's make those assumptions that we do by looking at the sky that the earth is a globe. Okay. We'll go ahead and do that. Now we're going to go inside this room with a flat goddamn floor and project the exact same thing on that domed ceiling above you. Okay. And, oh, look, that must mean that the floor is now a globe because we have a domed ceiling over it. You fucking retard.
Let me ask you one thing before you stop this. Did you play that video? Because I might have missed it. The one with the eagle eye one from the last show. If not,
I've got it. Wait,
okay.
Where did I had it?
Because I don't think you played it, but that would be a good because of what we were just talking about, showing the difference between the camera view when you get a chance, if you could.
Well, yeah, and let me see. I have to pull that up out of my history because I had it up.
I didn't mean to derail you on your video. I apologize.
Hold on a second. I have to go. Is that it? No, that's the one on changing the food. Where the fuck did that go?
If I have to find it, I'll just throw it back in the private chat so we can keep the flow going.
All right.
All right.
Anyway, yeah, that's another thing too, perspective versus two-dimensional Euclidean geometry. You know, there's sunset's impossible on a flat earth, and it's like, no, you're looking at that from a third-person perspective in 2 dimensions. You have to do it from the first-person perspective because that's the way we see it. It's very dishonest. They know it's dishonest. I think that a few that are tuned dick suckers and shit like that, I'm sure that they actually think it's valid, but when you point that out to them, then they get all mad again because what, my hero was wrong. Yes, he was 100%.
Yes, he was.
So yeah, I said this after watching that movie. That concreted it for me. That one, The Apprentice. I watched that movie and I was like, okay, look at this, man. This is all in there. This is his connection to this fucking Khazarian mafia, this Jewish mafia. And that's where he got in there with it, man. Heavy duty.
This whole entire ring of Jewish mafia and blackmail, Donald Trump has been connected to them because he was groomed by Roy Cohn. And Roy Cohn was having actual blackmail parties in the Plaza Hotel in New York in the Blue Suite. Donald Trump bought that hotel. There's pictures of Jeffrey Epstein coming to his wedding with Marla Maples at that exact hotel. They blackmailed people like J. Edgar Hoover. Him and Louis Rosenthal, who was connected to the Brofman family, they're working with people like Meyer Lansky. He was the head of the mob, the actual Kosher Nostra. Rosenthal was Brofman's right-hand man. Donald Trump, in his books, has said Roy Cohn was my mentor, taught me everything. He was my lawyer. That's just only one piece of a giant puzzle. This whole entire ring of Jewish.
Yeah. Tied right in. And they show some of that too, these parties that were going on at the hotel.
His family has mad Jewish connections. His father had a lot of Jewish connections too, big time. And he wore the black hat and the black suits, and he had that look. I saw a few pictures from an old newspaper ad, a newspaper story about him funding some Jewish center that he was they were building in New York City. And I mean, all Trump's kids married Jewish people. Trump married a Jewish woman. I mean, you think about it all, and you're like, okay, his connections are just wild. It's like, oh no, I don't have any connections. I'm a Christian. No, you're not.
Yeah.
No, you're not. He was raised a Presbyterian, supposedly, but he said in his book, I don't know what it was, to the way to the top or something like that, that he had a Kabbalah teacher.
Oh God.
So he's
he converted. He converted. Yeah. He's a wall humper. He's a chicken slinger. There's no doubt about that. And he's duplicitous. Just that fits in absolutely 100%. The duplicitous nature he has, and his propensity to be an evil fuck. You know, here's that Eagles View thing that you were talking about.
Thought it was kind of interesting.
Whoops.
It's not the whole song, but don't worry about it. Okay, yeah, but you can leave it
All right, now it's in everybody's head.
Yeah. That's an actual eagle with a camera on its back.
Sure. GoPro and a standard lens. More and more people are waking up to that nonsense, though, you know? They really are. Look at that straight, flat horizon, no matter how he turns.
Yeah. Now, on the fisheye, you can see that there's distortions when it gets to the corners or the top.
Yeah. Well, there it's breathing right there.
I thought this was a wild video because it's weird to see a bird with something on its back. Watch this. This is wild.
Is that Paris?
It's I think it is, yeah. Watch us. Just lands right on his arm. It's wild. And I was like, that's crazy that they said, oh, here, let's show it in the regular GoPro, and then let's fix it so it's standard lens and not fisheye for like an action camera. Almost all action cameras have that fisheye effect so that it gets a wider FOV, the view gets wider. Yeah.
So they did that they had eagles at the White Trash Fest there Sunday.
White Trash Fest.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I really expected fucking monster trucks and go for real.
It was all the fireworks.
Oh, and guess what? It was sponsored by Bud Light. I thought that was gay beer.
Yeah,
not anymore.
Yeah, well, they did that Dylan Mulvaney thing that lost them a freaking couple $1 billion and almost put them out of business.
That's fucking hilarious.
Oh, and the other one was, remember we were watching that video? Yeah, Miracle Grow, which isn't that Monsanto? So it was sponsored by Miracle Grow. That was the other thing too, which is like that Monsanto crap that they put in the ground that gives you problems.
Who did Miracle Grow sponsor?
Yeah, of the UFC. Saul played a video where it literally had it on the pad in the middle of the ring.
Miracle Grow? I don't think so.
I did.
Yeah, I remember seeing it. I was like,
and I pointed out to Saul on that show.
They have several different sponsors.
There's mostly crypto, but yeah.
Brondo. There was Brondo.
Go to Cubby, go to Saul's last one where he was showing the UFC the night they did the UFC one. I can give you a timestamp.
I mean, I can look at it. I'm almost certain they didn't say that, but
they have. You'll have to look
not
at
Miracle
Rumble
Girl anyway.
Because because they made me cut a bunch of UFC shit out of the
Yeah, I'm sure.
last video. That thing was
That was why it wasn't up, because I went to go watch it again, and I was like, "Oh, that's
back
why."
up now. It's back up now. I had to do a lot of trimming. Oh,
Sure,
well.
it wasn't Monster Energy. I'm looking at it from the top right now.
It was on the padding on the side of the ring. One of them where the guy hopped up on the top of the ring. It put his hands up, after he won. The paddings, one of them said Miracle Grow.
Oh,
I think that had to have been edited in because I don't think I've ever seen Miracle Grow be a sponsor of the UFC ever. But
was that the same guy that said that Michelle Obama's got a dick?
Yeah.
no. That was probably Bo Nickel, probably.
Dude, that shit was so fucking tacky.
I don't know.
I'm gonna find it and I'll tell you. I'll give you a timestamp.
I ain't shitting you. That was so fucking tacky. Anyway, back on these cops. Listen to this.
I'm Vic Myers. Welcome to the Resistance. Yesterday in Senatobia, Mississippi, a 1-year-old child was shot, killed by the police. I don't know anything about the demographics of the cops or the kid, except that they were too poor to afford diapers. See, according to what I read, police received a report or something that there was 2 adults and a child seen running out of a Walmart with stolen diapers. And the cop said that the car was coming at him. Funny thing is, the bullets went through the side window of the car. A 1-year-old child who at the end of the day is gone because mom couldn't afford diapers. This is America today, 2026. And where do you place the blame? There's going to be a lot of idiots out there. Mom should have got a job. Mom shouldn't have been stealing. There was a box of diapers, for fuck's sake. And a cop shot a kid over the cost of diapers. They knew that kid was in the car. What kind of a cop shoots into a car with kids in it?
Yeah.
There's no excuse. This is our America. How do we get here? I think part of it's because we've turned our police forces into gun-happy, shoot first, ask questions later law enforcement.
Okay.
I think part of it's because when you have federal agents gunning down Renee Good and Alex Preddy and others with impunity, with nothing happening to them because of it, they're setting the example. It's happening because we have a federal government who says, we don't care about the American people. We have to fund our military. That's why it's happening. All of this together. It's not because mom didn't have the money for diapers all by itself. It's just that at the end of the day, if our economy worked for all Americans instead of just the millionaires and the billionaires, if our economy was for all of the people, if our tax monies went to serve all of the people instead of just the fucking oligarchs, then a 1-year-old kid wouldn't be dead because mom didn't have the money for diapers. We got to do better, folks.
Yeah, they're real quick to shoot. There's another one I saw here recently. They broke into some guy's house and he was still asleep and they shot him.
Yeah, but that was a little while ago. It was the wrong house too, and they still killed him.
Not to take away from what the guy said, but did he have a Ukraine pin on his hat?
Yeah, he did.
All right.
Maybe.
I was just making sure.
Maybe.
I mean,
yeah, I think that's some dumb shit too. You know, they say, "Oh, don't you support Ukraine?"
Yeah. So I threw a picture up a cubby to prove that
I saw it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I put it in the I put it in the
That's the first I've never seen a Miracle.
I know I've
companies.
never seen it either, but I saw that and I was like, Miracle Grow. Isn't that Monsanto? It's Scott's. It's Scott's, but
Same difference. They're all the same.
Same company. Same company.
they make that GMO grass seed stuff that grows real strange.
You don't have to worry about the birds eating it.
Yeah. Turn my grass into a prairie.
There we go.
All my neighbors hate it.
I got 2 more of these, and then we'll get into that lost history. 2 more of these. This one doesn't end well.
Hi.
Hi. What's your name?
Emily.
Emily. I'm Lincoln. This is Tyler with Dixon PD. Is Harley here?
Yeah.
Can we talk to him? Is he busy?
Yeah,
or-
one sec. He's in the backyard.
Okay. Thank you. See, he's out back.
So these punks right here came by because I'm trying to organize a community protest against a representative who's trying to push in a data center owned by a out-of-state company, trying to suck up all our energy. I made a post. I made an event on Facebook trying to organize the community to get together. And what's your badge number? Name and badge number? And name and badge number? Okay. Yeah. No, I have a First Amendment right to protest. And if I organize a protest on a public road, there's nothing wrong with that. I sent an email to that representative and I can show you the email. I never made a threat. I told no, this is my house and I'm going to talk. You guys are on my property trying to intimidate me because I'm organizing a protest against a data center. Then why are you here?
Okay, so first off, do you want to talk about this?
Talk about what? There's nothing to talk about. I'm organizing a protest and I'm allowed to do that. It's a First Amendment protected activity. Yeah.
The issue is some of the communication, the Facebook posts. I would disagree that there's.
I haven't made a single threat. Tell me what threat I made.
Okay, well, you know what you're supposed to.
No, give me quote me. Quote a threat because I didn't make one. I'm organizing a protest on a public street demanding a representative. Huh? Someone else made a comment about the safety of his children. No. No, what I said if he valued his children's safety, he probably wouldn't be trying to ruin the world that they're being brought up on. And that isn't a threat. That's the fact that I'm watching this man ruin the world around here. And yes, I'm allowed to say that if someone cares about their kids, they shouldn't destroy the community that their kids are being raised in. That's not a threat. Yes, I did. Pull it up. Pull it up and read it. Pull it up and read it. Cool. Pull it up and read it.
So that's the concerning part is obviously, yes, you have the right to make an event. You have the right to public protest, everything else. Right? Listen,
I never made a threat.
Well, we disagree, and our state's attorney disagrees.
Okay, well, go ahead and do what you got to do.
They're gonna.
They're just pulling shit out of their ass at this point.
Yep.
Because you know who's buying and selling these
When
people.
did I ever go to his house?
We'll explain that to you more. Okay, so you are going to be placed under arrest right now. Okay.
Okay, let me. Wow.
Or do you want her to take it? Well, no, you need to stay here.
I know. You guys can come in with me.
We're not going anywhere.
Okay.
You're staying here.
Well, then can Emily?
Yeah, we'll get her.
Not
Yeah,
come to her.
you need a t-shirt
No,
too,
this
man?
is this. Why am I being arrested over a Facebook?
Well, we'll talk to you more, but I already kind of explained it to you. Do you want to get a shirt or anything for you?
What did I do wrong?
Well,
What threat did I make?
We'll explain it to you.
We'll explain it to you. No, you'll explain it to me now.
What did I make? I never once made a threat. Emily, they're arresting me because of this protest.
You're getting arrested?
Yeah, they're arresting me because of this protest.
Do you want a shirt or anything?
Yes, I do. But why am I being
Do you wanna grab
arrested
a
for
t-shirt?
protesting?
Do you want anything else to take with you? We are.
Yeah, for
But
protesting.
being genuine, just
I'm
asking
allowed
if
to
you want something
protest a
take with
data
you.
center.
And we've already told you 110 times that you can do that.
You're arresting me for it.
That's not what I'm arresting
Yes,
you
you
for. I
are. You
told
just
Yeah,
said it.
you are.
Yeah,
Well, then
and I
it's nothing to do with your protest.
I haven't made any threats against anyone. I said I would protest in front of his house every day.
And then you want to keep your cell phone?
Why would I do that? Emily, take that.
Okay, there's your t-shirt. All right, now we're going to go with Officer Pennick right here.
That's crazy. So how long am I going to be in there before?
Well, you're going to be detained tonight, and you'll see the judge tomorrow.
Okay. Which car?
We're going to go straight ahead. Officer Pennick, good night.
Welcome to our wonderful jackboot United
Think
States.
about fucking bullshit, man.
Yep.
Dixon,
What-
Illinois sucks.
Do you remember the other one where they showed up on that guy's thing because he made a post not supporting Israel? And that was the other
Oh, yeah.
one. And he was
Yeah.
like, "I'm free speech. Get off of my land. See you later. Beat it. Get out of here." I mean, it's not his land anyway, which I kind of laughed about.
Yeah.
But I, still, it was like, wait a minute, you're showing up for this?
Who's monitoring this stuff would be my question. Like, you got
Nobody.
somebody, you're supposedly to serve and protect. Like, who you protect, and you're out here arresting people for stupid
Yeah.
Facebook posts. Not even stupid, just in general Facebook posts.
Yeah. That's how they roll, man. Really bad. They're really bad. And they don't fucking know anything. Watch this idiot.
You threatened a guy with a gun.
What crime did I commit?
You threatened a guy with a gun. Do you have a gun on you?
What crime did I commit?
You have an ID on me.
Look at this snitch. What crime I commit?
Dude, I'm not trying to give you a hard time.
I'm not trying to give you a hard
You have an ID
time.
on you.
Why are you grabbing me? Why are you grabbing me?
Sir, you have an ID on
You
you.
don't have to grab me for that.
You have an ID on you.
I'm not. You're not getting one because I ain't commit a crime.
What's your name?
You said you're gonna pat me down, so pat me down.
You have a name?
Pat me down, bro. Pat me down. Do what you're doing. Don't stop grabbing me. Pat me down. Do what you're doing. Okay.
You have an ID on you, sir?
What crime I committed?
Sir, I just explained to you.
You just pat me down. Though. What
Okay.
crime I committed?
I just explained to you. It's on body cam.
What's
It's
the
on the
crime?
camera.
Yeah. What's the
You threatened a guy
crime?
with a gun.
What's the crime I committed?
Do you want him to leave, sir? You want him to leave?
No,
Saying, what's the
man.
crime? Nobody's saying the crime. What crime?
You want him to leave? If you want him to leave, I'll tell him to leave. You still have to identify yourself. Sir.
No, I do not. I ain't commit a crime.
If you don't identify yourself, you will be locked up.
All right, bring me to jail then. What you mean I ain't commit no crime?
I just
Think
asked you
I'm
for your
stupid?
Based on
Asking me
Montgomery
for
County
ID.
Code 32B, you have to identify.
Failure to
Yes,
identify,
yes,
and that's
sir.
going to be dropped in court.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be dropped in
Yeah,
court
we
because
get
I ain't
dropped
commit a
in court,
crime.
get dropped in court, sir. You have a name? You have an
You're
ID?
not, bro. I ain't commit a crime. You're not getting anything from me. The law don't work like that.
Why you
Fourth Amendment. The law don't work like that.
Well, I'm asking for your name. That's all I'm asking.
And that's the Fourth Amendment. The law don't work like that.
You're asking.
All right.
Rock and roll.
$300,000 lawsuit right there, baby.
And you know who pays the $300,000?
Taxpayers.
Yeah, the city does with their insurance, and now the insurance goes up, which
Yeah.
means that now you've caused more problems, which means the insurance rate goes up, and now you pay because now the town can't cover the insurance cost. So
Well,
they go around and
wouldn't it behoove the town to remove the cost, the actual cause
Yes.
of the cost? You see,
Yes.
that's what should be being done. Hey, you cost our city a bunch of fucking money with your goddamn bullshit and your qualified immunity. I don't think your services are needed here anymore.
I used to have to carry cards in my pocket with my name and the phone number to call. If you have a problem with something I've done, you've seen me do something wrong, it goes right to a state agency so that you can report my employee number with my name on a card. So if somebody went up to me and said, do you have what's your name? I have to give them a card and say, here, that's my name. That's my number. Here's the number to call. What do you call it? I had to do that. Otherwise I'd be out the door. And if I cost the city, say the state that I worked for, $300,000, do you think I would have a job the next day?
Oh, shit, no.
Absolutely not. I would have been out that door fast and stink on you know what.
Yeah, man.
Out quick. But those guys cause 10, 15, 20 lawsuits a year that cost the city or the whatever, the county, and cost the county $7, $8, $10 million every year. What do you think is going to cover that cost? That isn't
Right.
just taken out of their, what do you call it? That comes, the regular police are contracted through the cities. The city makes the contract with PDs. PDs are private. So they're contracted with the city. So they make a contract with the city or the county, whatever it is that they need this security, with guns. They have to, they're not actual city employees. They're not actual state employees. They're simply contractors. That's all they are. So they could fix that by simply just when they go to renew the contract, telling them, listen, no more immunity. You got a lawsuit, it's on you. And they could do that in a millisecond, but you know what would happen? All those cop unions would all pull out. Every single one of them would be like, see you, we're out. Because
Good.
they know that they would be out of business in the
Yep.
snap of a finger. It would take a month and they'd be out of business.
Yep.
Kind of like the post office.
Yep.
How the post office is been underwater for like 30 years now, and the only thing that keeps them afloat is basically taxpayer money. Is that they just keep funding it, even though it never makes a dollar, not a penny. But that's the problem, is the cities could fix this by saying, listen, any lawsuits, if you don't abide by the contract that we made with you, meaning you don't follow your terms of employment, or you break the law and it causes loss, what you say, loss,
Injury or harm,
then you are responsible. They would be out of business in 30 days. That quick. Those guys are hired to keep security for the people who employed them.
They're all corrupt, even. So the politicians, even that are above them, are all fucking corrupt. I mean, all the way up to that orange fat turd in the White House, man. I mean, it's just like, that's how it is. I guess there's a rumor going around that they told J.D. Vance in the Situation Room. Now, this is according to some recordings that the New York Times supposedly has, that they told J.D. Vance that Trump mutilated a minor's nipples during a sexual assault. Something about he's got. Yeah, it's been called Nipplegate. Yeah, I'm not kidding, man. It's called Nipplegate.
I believe it. It's just
yeah,
it's wild. Can't wake up without some wild story.
I know.
So here's Super Ninja today or last night. Watch this shit. That's what the DOJ.
It's buffering.
It's buffering.
Yeah, unless that's on my end. It like the last couple of videos have been buffering.
Saab's picture is buffering too.
Oh, okay.
All right, hang on. We're gonna go out and come back in. I'll be back in just a minute.
All right, make sure you knock.
Yeah, because I was contracted with we were a private contractor. So basically we provided services. I can't say what it is, but we were basically just a service contractor through the state highway department. So we weren't highway employees. We were just contracted through the highway department, and that basically to do maintenance and service work and painting and welding and machine
all
work.
the stuff they didn't want to do.
Yeah, all the shit that they didn't want to pay big time money to do. So they had a 50-person crew. They would take the 2010. I think 2010 and have different regions in the state that we could move around. We also did barges and a bunch of other stuff, work on the sea, sea work. So inspections, stuff like that. And, but we were private contractors, which meant that, we were only paid an X amount of money. We could not go over budget. If we did, it's on the company, not on state. The state only pays out a fixed amount. If you go over budget, it's on you. And we had conduct rules, special conduct rules, and there was standards that we had to meet, meaning provide ID on asked upon demand to any public, from anybody who lives, in the public, knew that you could walk right up to them and say, hey, do you have a card? And I could just hand them a card and say, here's my name, here's my employee number, bam, bam. I mean, trying to get those guys to friggin' ID is tough too. When they say, well, right here. And I love it when Johnny Fappa Saab says, right here, how's that spelled? R-I-G-H-T?
Yeah.
You're still getting a bad connection, so.
Wow, it's showing.
It's actually worse.
All right. Tell you what I'm going to do here. Then I'm going to reboot my system.
All right.
Okay. My timestamp was 1 hour and 4 minutes. Okay. This is fucking pissing me off.
It's probably bogus. I'm telling you, YouTube's being stupid, man. They're being stupid on so many levels. They've been irritating me. Like, they keep showing me stuff that's like super old or stuff that I skipped on purpose, and you're subject to whatever they feed you. So it's not like, unless you specifically seek everything out, which I do sometimes, but you can only do that so much and you can only remember so much.
So how many times have you pressed the new Ask YouTube button?
It's never. I didn't even know that was a thing, or that I know of.
They added in the search or ask a question bar
on
YouTube.
Okay.
Ask YouTube, and you
Like
can't take
AI
it off.
thing.
You can't remove it unless you get an extension which removes it from the bar itself.
Everything changes so much, man. It's technology is so irritating. It's some people who love using it, and it's for them, but I really don't. I like the bare minimum basic shit. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
me too.
serious. I'm like at a point where I almost want to go back to a landline. I don't even. I'm just so sick of all the dumb shit. It's like you can't get used to something without them changing it on you the next day. Whether it be like pushing on something that was in a certain spot one day. It's all. And the same with the ads or the skip button. They move it every single day.
Oh,
It's all
yesterday.
a marketing trick and bullshit to get you to watch more ads and do stuff like that. It's
Yesterday,
annoying.
I got an ad barrage where I was watching the same video. I didn't pause it, and I closed the ad, and then 10 seconds later it reopened it, and then 10 seconds later it reopened it, and then 10
and they know it
seconds
irritates you, so they do it on purpose.
And I
For
think they
real,
do
dude.
it on
It's-
certain videos because they don't want you to watch the video, and that's why.
And this is what the people always say. What are they collecting data on? This is exactly what they're collecting data. Your every move to figure out what you like, you don't like. It's all this type of stuff to sway your emotions, basically, if you let them do that.
Yeah. You back?
Yeah, I'm back here. Let's see if this still lags.
Yeah, it's still lagging a little bit.
We might have to just cancel the fucking show tonight.
Or just go to Rumble.
Yeah, that would be. Is it lagging over there?
Probably not. I don't look though.
It looks okay now, but sometimes it does chop.
I'll share this.
Oh, unless it's on. I didn't think about it just being on your end alone, and not a YouTube thing.
Did you see that new program they got out where it's like it's
How
called
about? Let's see now. Does this?
Okay,
do it
I'm
now?
checking Rumble. Yeah,
that's okay now.
Fight the power! Fight the power! Fight the power! Fight the power!
That needs to be done right there. That needs to be done. Shit like that right there. That fucking dictator putting his goddamn picture up on everything. Fuck him. You know what I mean?
That was the DOJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody went outside and pulled it down. I saw that earlier.
What the fuck is going on here?
Did you see the B-52 crashed in California?
Supposedly, where was the freaking B-52 at?
It was crashed on takeoff.
Edward.
Yeah,
Why
Edwards.
what? It just exploded and turned into a black spot, or what?
Yeah, I
never
know.
saw
Where's the plane?
itself.
Where's
Yeah,
the plane?
it did look weird, but it looked like either it hit something. It didn't look like it was moving and then hit something and crashed. It looked like it was just sitting there and just, I mean, it just looked like black powder on the ground. I didn't see like an engine sitting there, but I did see that they were pushing that. It was like a Stratofortress too. It wasn't a regular one. It was the big ass one. Yeah, vaporized. Literally, Older Bones said it. Chat.
Opened up and swallowed it whole.
Just a pile of black crap.
Yeah, it looks like it's okay over on Rumble.
Yeah, you look okay.
You're all right now for the most part.
It's what?
I said you're doing okay so far. Here,
Yeah, I don't know why
YouTube
they
on
fucking pull that horse shit on me. But they do. Fuck them. All right, let's see here. It's got to get over to, I got to open that back up now. Go there. I have to get the movie. Oh, let's see. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, that's a good point. Rumham so said only in Iran military planes crash and pilots survive.
Yeah, I know. They did some dumb shit.
Yeah.
They recovered him. He had to walk through the desert to the top of the mountain, but they got him back.
Trying to get it just right. Now, hour 3 and 27 seconds.
I know what you're thinking.
Hang on. I got to take that off of there. I got to put this up there. I got to go window, share sound.
Yeah, they found their passports. Floated out of the sky into the rubble.
There we go.
Boom.
Now I'll have to mute my mic though when this plays, or else you get an echo. Used to not do that. I don't know why that started, but whatever. So here we go.
This is all very intriguing, but what does this have to do with flat Earth? You want to know more about the firmament, the sun and moon, and our stationary plane. Do not worry. Everything will become clearer as we continue our journey. The prevalent evidence of buried infrastructure, coupled with deserted cities and a burgeoning industry of orphans, is just a start. These are all necessary clues, hinting at some kind of cataclysm, but the real story hasn't truly begun yet. The stage had to be set first, and now it is ready. And even if you cannot see it yet, I know you feel it, viewer. The deserted cities, the buried architecture, and orphans all signal a looming darkness. There is a great black cloud in front of us, and I won't lie, we are heading right into the heart of it. And like I said before, we do not have much time. Come on, it's time for me to honor my promise and take you back to the future. Water, an inorganic, transparent, and odorless chemical substance that covers 70% of the known Earth's surface. It is the driving life force behind the carbon-based organisms that flourish on our Earth. It borders and separates our lands and collects and solidifies at the inner and outer regions of our flat, stationary realm. God should have sent a message to the inhabitants of Earth and been precise and told them to watch the water, to meditate on its function and natural laws, because in their time, a great deception would be cast over them, like a cold shadow of an unknown, nefarious king. And maybe God did send this message in the form of a flood, but its truth was mythologized and buried, and the lie propagated in spite of it. Resting water does not curve and convex. The natural laws of a resting body of water insist that it takes the exact shape of the container it fills, and always finds and maintains a flat level. Resting water always rests flat. And watching the water when we sit at vantage points, when journeying above in planes, and before we take a sip from our drink, we must remember to never forget this law. Most of us instinctively understand the laws of water, and yet many continue their day-to-day willfully participating in the nonsensical, heliocentric hoax. But for us that know that our Earth is not a spinning planet in an infinite vacuum of space, the ones that have studied the sun diligently and realize that it is the sun that is moving and not the Earth, the ones that have plotted the illogical routes of flight paths on a globe model and concluded that the model is incorrect, the ones that know that the laws of density govern the rise and fall of objects and have studied vanishing points, the ones that have forsaken conventional telescopic lenses, pondered rainbows, sundogs, and the stars above us know that we reside within a dome firmament, and there exists water above us. And the ones that understand that our entire enclosed Earth system is governed by electromagnetism, frequency, and vibration that emanates from a central magnetic North Pole. We are the ones that scratch our heads and wonder how on earth we got in this heliocentric mess in the first place. And if meditating on the stars in the water beyond our firmament long enough, and on the electromagnetism, frequencies, and vibrations that make them twinkle through so many shades of vibrant colors and geometric patterns, one might perhaps, just perhaps, ask, is there something more to electromagnetism? Something that has been missed or overlooked, something untold or hidden? Electromagnetism is a fundamental force of Earth. The electromagnetic field takes the form of a torus in which all electromagnetism frequency and vibration flows. A toroid is a revolving surface that takes the shape of a donut. Toroidal inductors and transformers are central to generating electric energy. There are many ways in which electromagnetism can be produced. We've looked at some before. We know that a magnetic field can produce electricity, and that electricity can produce a magnetic field. It works both ways. Magnetism and electricity are inextricable. It is a dance of polarity. Electric charges either repel or attract each other. Magnetic poles attract or repel one another. For every north pole, there is a corresponding south pole. An electric current passing inside a wire creates a corresponding magnetic field outside of the wire. And an electric current is created in a loop of wire when it is moved toward or away from a magnetic field. Horseshoe magnets are powerful permanent magnets. Due to their shape, in which both magnetic poles are close together, a powerful, strong magnetic field is produced. The horseshoe magnet can also function as an electromagnet. The first ever electromagnet was invented in 1824, we are told, and was in the form of a horseshoe magnet. Its power was evident from the beginning. It weighed only 200 grams, but could lift 4 kilograms of iron. The key to the horseshoe magnet's power is the placement of its poles. You can see the magnetic field here, represented by the vector lines. If you look closely, you can see the concentration of the magnetic field is greater near the poles of the magnet. Since as far back as we can remember, we have been presented with and entertained ideas of the future. Not necessarily our future as individuals, but the future of humanity, technology, and society at large. Whether it is in the form of Hollywood movies, you know the ones, the action films, the science fiction sagas, and the animated kind, or literature, music, and art exhibitions. In these, we see our technology taken to its limits. Crafts fly, computers live, robots help out, holographic screens decorate every room. Cities continue to grow upward into dominating skylines. Some can teleport, and space travel is now possible and the accepted norm. Outside of fiction, we also have sobering documentaries telling us where we are heading, usually featuring narration by an old man, lamenting the unstoppable path we are on. It's all very serious. We are destroying our planet, the only one we have. And we have political parties, non-governmental organizations, and the trusted voices and scientific, award-winning geniuses sharing similar messages. And really, when you look closer at both the fiction and the alleged facts, they all share the same underlying premise and principles. We are becoming so technologically advanced that the planet we reside on is no longer enough, or can no longer sustain our activity. The advanced artificial intelligence systems, the flying crafts, the breakthroughs in cloning and medical beds mean that the natural world has suffered as a consequence. And depending on the type of genre you are entertaining, the solution is either, 1, for humanity to perish as a result, perhaps destroyed by the very artificial intelligence systems it created in the first place, or perhaps by a natural, lung-choking virus that has mutated and is sweeping the earth to restore natural balance. Or 2, for humans to say goodbye to their lonely little blue ball and head off into space in search of a new home. But you see, there is no globular planet, and there is no space, and therefore all visions of the future are purely fictional, and not particularly innocent. What we don't see emphasized in these visions of the future, however, is the potential of electromagnetism to transform all human life, technology, and society. Which is strange when you consider that all life, and the Earth itself, is impossible without electromagnetism. Why wouldn't visionaries want to explore this in more detail? Could it be that they are not allowed to? Could it be that they are afraid of something? Afraid of us connecting one too many dots, perhaps? And again, horseshoe magnets can act as powerful electromagnets. If a civilization was to advance technologically through the use of electromagnetism, then the horseshoe magnet would certainly have a tremendous role to play in that development. Yes, it certainly would. And it certainly did. The horseshoe magnet. The Arc de Triomphe. Yes, one of the most powerful electromagnets ever constructed. Welcome to the future. Except it's the past. The future came and went, and we missed it. The magnificent architecture we see throughout our realm, in which the official liars and controllers of our world have termed historicist, neoclassical, Renaissance, Gothic, and so on, all belong to one whole unified civilization. A civilization so developed they had harnessed the power of electromagnetism to such a high degree that they not only built these huge structures, but also crafted them with utter finesse and beauty. A celebration of their own technological advancement. The structures were designed with the sole intention of harvesting and generating electromagnetic energy and distributing it across the world. Their cities, towns, an entire way of life ran and depended on the use of free, clean, and powerful electromagnetic energy. The energy was harnessed and collected from the ionosphere above our heads through the use of antennas, spires, domes, and towers. All the impossible structures we see today have been repurposed and rebranded by our controllers and the citizens of the 19th century. This is not a church. This is not a mosque. This is not a castle. And this is not a government building. These are generators, powerful and gargantuous. They would collect and generate the electromagnetic energy, which was then stored in huge power stations and distributed and redirected by sophisticated, advanced structures, one of which is a huge electromagnet, or what we've come to know as triumphal arches. The energy was stored in batteries and capacitors, such as towers and obelisks. All cities were constructed across our realm in the form of one big, interconnected power grid, much like a huge computer motherboard. I already know what you're thinking. What? He's finally lost it. He had us with flat Earth, but this is just too much. I know. The backup programming is kicking in. But before you turn away to leave and cast aside your muddy boots, let me show you how it worked. As you know, we live on a flat stationary plane. At the center is a source of magnetism at the North Pole. And directly above this is Polaris, fixed at the central and highest point of a wondrous crystalline dome firmament. Beneath the firmament, different layers of atmosphere exist at different heights. The ionosphere starts at about 30 miles above Earth. It includes a thermosphere and the mesosphere. The ionosphere is an electrical atmosphere that is ionized by the sun's electromagnetism. It also forms the inner edge of the magnetosphere. I know, a lot of big words and abstract concepts, but you are familiar with this process and have been witness to it every day for the entirety of your lives. As you can see, the vials here contain molecular gases that are present in the atmosphere above us. When an electromagnetic source, such as a Tesla coil, is applied within close proximity of these gases, the coil's magnetic field ionizes or charges these gases, and the result is phosphorescent plasma. The gases become colorized. This is why our sky is primarily blue, because the sun's electromagnetic presence ionizes the atmosphere, and the result is colored plasma. When the sun is entering or exiting our region, or what the liars of the world call sunrise and sunset, we see a variety of color gradients due to its distance from the ionosphere above us. When the sun is no longer journeying above our region, the sky loses its color and we can see the stars in the firmament beyond. Although the official scientists designate the ionosphere as an atmospheric layer, it is actually an ethereal layer. Ether is the fabric or element that carries electromagnetism. It connects everything in our realm. It is the fabric that makes the sun and moon and their concentric journey above our disk possible in the first place. Ether is the mysterious fifth element. It connects everything electromagnetically through vibrational energy. It is the glue, the web, the driving force behind absolutely everything. The four other elements, air, fire, water, and earth, only exist because of the ether. They are expressions of ether's vibrations. Cymatics is a good example of ether's presence. The frequencies fed through the Chladni plate make the sand or salt form precise and complex geometric shapes. The higher the frequency, the more complex the geometric pattern. But what is the conduit that takes the frequency's vibrations and allows the sound to take such shape? That is the ether at work. That's why we see fruits and vegetables that closely resemble cymatic patterns. It is the ether at work. All matter is ethereal, and the shape and form of that matter are different expressions of the ether, determined by frequency and vibration. Ether is the bridge between electromagnetic frequency and vibrational energy, and the form of matter itself. You could call it the Holy Spirit of God. The historical and scientific discourse of ether is a deliberately manipulated one. The enemy introduced the truth only to discredit and subsequently bury it. Some of the alleged figures of the past have written on ether. The so-called Aristotle called it the fifth element. James Clerk Maxwell, the so-called father of electromagnetism, spoke of the ether, stating, "In several parts of this treatise, an attempt has been made to explain electromagnetic phenomena by means of mechanical action, transmitted from one body to another by means of a medium occupying the space between them. The undulatory theory of light also assumes the existence of a medium. We have now to show that the properties of the electromagnetic medium are identical with those of the luminiferous medium. The medium he refers to here is the ether. Albert Einstein and others successfully solidified the heliocentric model through fraudulent schools of scientific thought. But even Einstein could not deny the presence of ether. According to the general theory of relativity, space is endowed with physical qualities. In this sense, therefore, there exists an ether. According to the general theory of relativity, space without ether is unthinkable. For in such space, there would not only be no propagation of light, but also no possibility of existence for the standards of space and time, measuring rods and clocks, nor therefore any space-time intervals in the physical sense. Even contemporary scientists, under the spell of heliocentrism, admit it is nonsensical to deny ether's existence. Today, the vacuum is recognized as a rich physical medium. A general theory of the vacuum is thus a theory of everything, a universal theory. It would be appropriate to call the vacuum ether once again. Returning to the ethereal ionosphere. As I said, this layer of ether above our heads is a constant sea of electromagnetism and is responsible for the colored plasma above that we call the sky. The source of its electromagnetism is the sun. It is because of this ionized layer that we get ionospheric lightning in the form of sprites, which in turn influence the thunderstorms below. An ion is a particle, atom, or molecule with a net electrical charge. Electricity is a continuous flow of ions. The electrolytes in our body are ionized. Everything is connected by electromagnetism and the ether. Our highly developed and sophisticated historical ancestors not only understood the workings of the ionosphere and the ether, but they had developed methods to masterfully harvest it as a fuel to power the entire Earth. And while the exact process by which they were able to extract the ether is deliberately hidden from us and remains unknown, the structural remains that humanity has since repurposed and reused as architecture offer us many clues as to how it all worked. The evidence is everywhere for those with eyes to see. And once you see it, it becomes so glaringly obvious that you'll kick yourself for never noticing in the first place. The matter is very complex, and it will take time to really flesh out. So for now, let's have a closer look at some of these structures, and I will introduce some basic concepts. As we continue our journey, we will explore everything in more detail. We see them everywhere. On top of all these magnificent structures, towers, spires, and pinnacles that rise into piercing antennas. It was through these complex antennas that the ether was harvested. You see, after the Great Reset of the 1800s, the enemy fractured the old world's unified understanding of God and created multiple religions to try and hide God and justify the existence of such grand and beautiful technological structures. And I know this may trigger some people, but stay with me, I will not let you down. But for now, it is critical to understand that a lot of the religious icons that adorn and make up these antennas were never indicators of different religions in the old world, nor were they intended to be. They signaled something else entirely. They are usually made from copper and gold. Both are excellent conductors of electricity. In many of the structures we call cathedrals, the symmetrical spikes on the pinnacles worked in a similar fashion, extracting ether from the ionosphere. Once harvested, the energy would inevitably have been drawn down into the top larger portion of these domed structures. When examining many of the interiors of these domes, we come to realize that they rely heavily on symmetrical ornamentation. This is achieved by indentation or cavities in the masonry. In the world of electromagnetism, a cavity resonator works through symmetry to produce oscillation or vibration of energetic particles. Symmetrical shapes force energetic particles or ions to vibrate in a constant manner. Is this why we see perfect symmetrical ornamentation within the ceiling of many domed structures? It no doubt sounds absurd, but the majority of these structures also feature a smaller type of cavity resonator, or what is more appropriately termed cavity magnetrons, that offer some clarity as to the real function of these structures. A cavity magnetron is a high-powered vacuum tube that generates microwaves using the interaction of a stream of ions with a magnetic field while in the cavity resonator. A magnetron operates through a hollowed, symmetrical vacuum. It emits powerful microwaves that can act as a source of free energy. If you break the symmetry or close the vacuum, it no longer functions. But can you see the resemblance? These structures were never intended to hold glass within them. The controllers added the stained glass to the rose windows to shut off the magnetron's function. They closed out instruments of free energy. And they are everywhere in these structures. Interestingly, if you look at the geometry of entire sections of the structures themselves, then it becomes very evident that they functioned in their entirety like a cavity magnetron to generate energy. All cavity magnetrons consist of a central heated circular metal chamber in which the current leaves, and it's called a cathode. Look at that word, cathode. Does it remind you of another word? Cathedral, cathode. Like with everything else, they corrupt the truth and hide things in plain sight. The controllers removed most of the cathodes integral to these cavity magnetrons, but there are some structures today in which you can see traces of the old cathodes still present. The heavy reliance on symmetry and cavities within these structures is not coincidental. The symmetrical ornamentation would have worked in a similar manner, causing the energetic particles to vibrate in a constant manner. The flowers within the squares can be understood as similar to acoustic resonators, working to vibrate the ions. It is here that the energy would have been continually manipulated into vibrational and electromagnetic energy of specific frequencies. Really look at these magnificent acoustic resonators. Could you craft one of these by hand today, and at such height? Why would an underdeveloped people spend so much of their time crafting such perfect symmetrical ornamentation, especially if it had no function and was purely aesthetic? They wouldn't. The cavity resonators and magnetrons would have had to have worked in partnership with a central engine or reactor contained within all these structures. Both resonator and reactor are interesting words. Just like the words conductor, generator, creator, and the name Mercator, they all contain the word tor within their linguistic structure. They hold a linguistic memory and pay homage to the torus or toroidal field. The torus is the flow of electromagnetism. Without this flow of energy, there would be no life on Earth. No one can really know for sure, but some have suggested that the engine was probably similar to a fusion reactor. The traces of these engines can be found within all of the larger generators. The empty shell of where the engine used to reside is usually, but not always, octagonal. It's been right in front of our faces the whole time. The controllers remove the engines, sometimes repurposing the space as baptistries and bandstands, sometimes just leaving the base either barren or attempting to cover them up. We see these octagonal structures in cathedrals, government buildings, mosques, and attached bandstands. And unless they have been repurposed, these structures seem to hold no overall function. They do not contribute to the overall structure. They appear superfluous and unnecessary. Theories have surfaced that the engines or central technological mechanism was similar to a tokamak. And while I do not subscribe to this idea, which will become evident as to why later in our journey, for now we will use it for illustrative purposes. A tokamak is a powerful device that uses a magnetic field to produce plasma in the form of a torus. The contemporary tokamaks we see are used in thermonuclear fusion power. The tokamak's toroidal field, in conjunction with the vibrating ions from the ether, would have produced a highly conductive electromagnetic field of gases called plasma, just like our sun and ionosphere. If those of the old world used anything closely resembling a tokamak's capability, then the result would have been an abundance of free, powerful, clean electromagnetic energy that could fuel entire cities and the entire Earth. These were never churches, cathedrals, castles, and parliament buildings. They were all huge engine generators. The controllers invented labels and terms such as Renaissance, Greco-Roman, and so on to describe the style of these structures. But as you can see, all these magnificent, impossible structures all share the same fundamental structural principles and design, despite location, time period, and cultures. And this is because they were created with the sole purpose of generating energy. And just because these structures were never used for prayer and worship does not mean they were not holy sites. The civilizations of the past had a relationship with the Source and the Holy Spirit, or the ether, like no other. And they paid homage, reverence, and thanks to it by constructing their generators with such splendor and beauty. And not only that, but they constructed the entirety of their structures, statues, and ornamentation in reverence of this gift, in reverence of the energy production that made their way of life possible in the first place. The laurel wreath, which the satanic controllers have corrupted in their appropriation of the symbol and redesignation of it to represent Apollo and Lucifer, is, in fact, a toroidal coil. And we see the toroidal coil throughout the old world's infrastructure, as simultaneously having both a function and a celebration of this function. Electromagnetic coils are electrical conductors. They are used in applications where electric current interacts with a magnetic field. In devices such as generators, motors, inductors, and transformers. Most coils take the form of a toroidal coil or spiral. Wire coils are used in conjunction with a magnet to produce powerful electromagnetism. The more turns of the wire, the stronger the magnetic field. Coils generate vortexes, which in turn create an electromagnetic field. It's all one interconnected system. And we see it everywhere. This is what columns and rotundas were used for. Powerful coils to generate electromagnetism and carry the current in loops. The torus is found at the base of pretty much every column found throughout our realm. It is everywhere. Look at the movement of electricity through a wire and the simultaneous magnetic field it produces. This is exactly the shape of a column. And we see this present in all of these gigantic and meticulously crafted columns. This is why we see the magnetic field represented at the top of a lot of columns. It's the movement of the ions in the magnetic field. It's the movement of the toroid and the toroidal vortex. As you saw, coils of copper wire are essential in electrifying the magnet. And I know what you want to say. That's great, but the columns and other structures you are referring to are made of stone. But you see, all of these impossible structures are made from a mixture of stone and metal. They used iron bars in their construction. Iron is magnetic. These iron rods run throughout the stone infrastructure and are complemented with copper and gold roofing. Copper and gold are strong conductors of electricity. Often we find entire statues, arches, domes, and roofing made from a distinctive blue copper. Furthermore, the limestone, granite, and dolomite stone is mixed with crystal silicon, or quartz. Quartz has strong electric potential. The colonnades and arches we see everywhere were at once integral components to the overall electromagnetic infrastructure, while also constructed in geometric forms that mirror the flow of electromagnetic energy, such as coil loops, horseshoe magnetic fields, and toroidal vortexes. As with everything else constructed in the old world, they were both functional and crafted as a homage to that function. A lot of ethereal energy was stored in structures constructed from red bricks and concrete. Red bricks and concrete are excellent conductors of electricity. They operated as huge capacitors or batteries. According to new research, red bricks can be converted into energy storage units that can be charged to hold electricity, like a battery, and can store energy until required for powering devices. The key to this battery-like function inherent within red brick is the iron oxide. The development and use of red brick is so important, and we will be returning to this subject much later in our journey. The really big red brick power stations and batteries were designated and recognizable by their white stripes, such as St Pancras Railway Station in London, and many other famous structures. We still carry this red and white stripe designation of power stations today, and it is also an indicator for the magnet. Some were constructed of blue, black, and brown with white stripes. Towers, obelisks, and small clock towers functioned as the intermediate capacitors or batteries to store, distribute, and provide energy throughout the grid. The entire flat realm Earth was connected as one whole grid, a complex interconnected system of free energy production, distribution, and consumption. And this entire grid was destabilized and deactivated somewhere between the 17th and 19th century. Power grids like this do not function on a spherical mass. Our historical ancestors knew that the Earth they walked upon was flat. This type of futuristic technological advancement is the result of a civilization knowing exactly what type of Earth they lived upon. They were not subject to the same satanic deceptions and abuses as we are. They were not raised believing they existed on a lonely, globular rock spinning in the vacuum of space. The true, ethereal, electromagnetic properties of the Earth were not hidden from them. They knew there was a domed firmament above their heads. They studied it, they imitated its properties, and understood its central relationship with the entire ethereal existence of electromagnetism. They revered the magnificence of its craft and showed utmost gratitude to the Source, to God, and the ethereal Holy Spirit for giving them everything they needed. Look. Domes. Have you seen anything as overwhelmingly exquisite as this before? How have we lived our entire lives and not seriously considered the impossibility of these structures? How have we lived our entire lives walking amongst the skeletons of the future long forgotten? I know this is all a lot to take in. And I know that the picture has not formed properly in your mind yet. It is hard to imagine an interconnected electromagnetic power grid of this size across the Earth. And the technical nature of electromagnetism doesn't help. And I know that you're full of questions. Who were these people or beings that built these structures? Where did they go? And why were the power grids deactivated? What about all the religious iconography and art we see inside of the cathedrals and mosques? What about all the histories and photographs we have of the construction of these structures? What about the Romans and the Greeks? What about some of the grand mosques that have been constructed in recent times? And if what you're telling me is true, then how did they distribute and store all of this energy like you say? Was it similar to our Wi-Fi and radio signals? We will get to all of these in good time. We have barely scratched the surface. But for now, it is the last question that is important. How did they distribute and store all of this energy? And in what form? For you see, our sophisticated historical ancestors did something that we, as a society, have come to neglect. They watched the water, and they watched it closely, right here on Earth and up above, beyond the firmament. Come on, let me show you.
All right, hang on. Let me kind of discuss some of that. We got an alleged electrician up here right now that can. You're muted, bro. There you go.
Yeah, I'm alleged. Yeah.
Ooh, you're hot. You're hot. You're hot.
Oops.
Hot. 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 Hot.
I'll move it back.
Taste the biscuits.
Oh yeah, we didn't get that, did we? Oh no. What are we gonna
So
do?
one of the
Taste the
things.
biscuit. Taste the good.
Okay, I have a good sense of humor. Don't worry about that. So when it comes to a lot of the stuff that's being mentioned, I would say that in modern day electrical installations, that was the principle of grounding, which is the lightning rods. Out in Virginia, where I used to live, that was a very prominent type of installation for us to install and troubleshoot, and also be replacing lightning arresters and sometimes lightning rods themselves. So back then, I think that they had a very advanced fundamental understanding of how lightning is being not necessarily absorbed into the building, but it's being dissipated into grounding, literally the earth.
Mm-hmm. So it's all a big circuit. This whole thing's a big circuit, man.
Oh yes, I'm not disagreeing that it's a circuit. Not even close to disagreeing with that. But when it comes to what he was saying in regards to the iron oxide type of bricks, not every brick has iron oxide in it. Maybe some bricks do, or maybe most bricks do. I don't really know. I've never tested all.
That's what gives them the red. That's what gives them the red color. Is the iron oxide in them. I have a brick house, and hell, nice sun be on it most of the day, and then I can go out there at 2 o'clock in the morning and I can feel heat coming off the bricks still from what it absorbed through the day. It's amazing.
But they do actually work as wonderful capacitors. The capacitors So
They're good for
it's
window
just
removal too. I found out.
again.
I said they're real good for window removal too.
A brick. Okay. But when it comes to, I know, I get the joke. But when it comes to them being capacitors, carpet can also be a capacitor as well. And lots of other things. But capacitor is just a fancy word for an electrical storage device, like a battery. That's all it is.
Well, you know, I tend to think that it isn't one single thing alone, but the totality of all the things together. You know, just like if you don't put in all the ingredients to a Long Island iced tea, you don't have a Long Island iced tea. You have to have the specific amount of the different ingredients or whatever the case may be. Baking a cake, anything else like that. You can say, oh yeah, I'm having my eggs, you know, but you're eating cake, but it's made with eggs. Yeah, but it's not eggs. It's the totality of everything put together.
Yeah, you can't have an omelet without everything.
So that's my view on it.
Also, when it comes to electrical field theory, which is what he was talking about, he was keeping it nice and simplistic for a lot of people, but I look at it with a more technical aspect. So I like all of his videos he's done, and I like the fact that he's also retracted some of his videos. I'm like, hey, I fucked up, I was wrong. That's cool. At least he's admitting he's wrong. And when it comes to,
What now? I didn't hear that.
Oh, yeah, he made a whole bunch of videos. I watched all of them, and multiple times, and he eventually got refuted on it. Refuted, what's the right term? Anyways, he's like, whoops, I fucked up. And people showed him, and then he took those videos down.
I saw those videos too, and I think he was paid to do that or threatened. Because this video series woke a lot of fucking people up. They were getting worried about it. That's why it's so hard to find now. I think they either threatened him or paid him off, one of the two.
I'm just saying that if he was being threatened, that's a different thing. But if someone makes a video and then later comes along and says, you know what, someone proved me wrong, and here's why I was wrong, I'm taking this down, and maybe...
Yeah, but he didn't do that. He just went back and said, well, it could be this, and it could be that, and everything else. See, the thing that got me about it was, I just look at the amount of fucking bullshit I get with a little bitty channel like I got, the little bit of coverage that I'm hitting, right? You take somebody like that and the amount of people that it was hitting at the time, holy crap. You don't think that motherfucker was getting threatened and shit? Of course he was. Of course he was. You know, he was being harassed at every which way he could turn. So that's why I've got these recorded. I've got them saved because this is really thought-provoking shit, you know, because we take all this for granted. You know, we don't even think twice about it. But then you start digging into it, like my lunch break gets in there, and you're like, holy fucking God, man, this is really ludicrous. You know, how the hell did they build all this? Didn't have no blueprints. Where the fuck they get all these bones to put in there? What? That's what, do they have a school for Franciscan monks to make decorative ornaments out of people's dead bodies? What the fuck, man?
Fuck yeah, of course they did.
It's like, yes, I'm in, bone altar making 101. Welcome, class, to bone altar making 101. We're going to start with the basic shape of the skull. Good God.
And Haran Song.
Oh.
Hello.
What's up?
I am here temporarily, humbly amidst this wonderful panel to float one single idea.
Okay.
What if that world grid, sorry, I was having trouble getting into SteamYard. I hope you guys aren't too far along. What if that entire grid of buildings across the realm was used against us? What if it was like some form of mind control or just like made you really sick and they're, you know what I mean? Like what if
I've
it was the
entertained
other
that.
way around? What if all those buildings were destroyed in rebellion?
Maybe, that's something that I've entertained that. And that's why I go, it's like at the end of the day, we just don't fucking really know because they've obliterated our real history. Okay, that's what cracks me up with these globers. We've known the Earth as a globe for 2,500 fucking years, dude. You don't even know what the hell really happened last week. They change shit in real time and lie to you about current events, and you think fucking history's true? We have textbooks in American high schools that still teach that Lee Harvey Oswald shot Kennedy from the fucking school book place. Dude, nobody believes that anymore. But that's still what they teach. They'll still argue to a fault about it because that's what teacher said. See, so you can't trust none of the fucking history. I think some of the telling shit is I'm wondering, where did all these bodies come from? What happened to cause that? And what is with all these statues with their heads and shit cut off of them? What is it they don't want us to know? What is it they don't want us to see? It's a deliberate attempt to hide something. And I want to know why.
Well, were the statues' heads cut off, or were they just never put onto the statue?
No, they were deliberately defaced and cut off. But
hands and feet as well.
Yeah, hands and feet. Even in some cases where they've taken the 6th toe off to make it look like he only had 5, but there's a huge gap between the great toe and the next toe.
Them doing the statues and cutting the hands off or anything like that sometimes is a sign also, kind of like when the guy threw the shoe at Bush. That's like, it has a meaning to it.
And I can't see a motherfucker climbing up 35, 40 feet on some old goddamn rickety ladder back in the day just to go up and chisel one fucking head off of a statue where there's like 20 of them, or a carving where there's like 15 other figures depicted in the same carving, but they only select this one. You're going to climb up there on a fucking ladder and do that for what? There's got to be more purpose into it than that. That's a little bit, that's a lot of effort,
Yeah, some of them are also extraordinarily old, as far as we know.
Yeah.
And they also have withstood all of the weathering.
Yeah.
Such as in what do they call it? In Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro,
Mm-hmm.
the Christ statue.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 80 feet tall or something. Yeah, it's doing pretty good still.
Yep.
Most of them would be if it wasn't for man-made. Like a lot of these wars, for instance, I think are purposeful for getting rid of a lot of these structures and whatnot. There's a lot more meaning behind these wars than just two countries fighting, or however many. But yeah,
it's Christ the Redeemer.
And you can tell it's not weathering or anything else like that, or the whole fucking thing would be weathered. Just that face, just those hands. It's like, come on, man. What are you really kind of trying to, what are you hiding? That's what gets me. And like she said, maybe it was for the benefit at one time, and then it was something done to it so that it amped up the frequency and vibration to a point where there was a huge liquefaction event. I don't know, man. How would we ever know?
Could be both. Like most things are made with good intentions, and then evil takes it over. So it could be a possibility of both. I wouldn't not entertain that possibility that what Heron said, but I think that I think initially that a lot of these structures were created to heal and do whatever, but we all know that.
I'd love to picture, a time or a place where the world was just, blissful and everyone woke up and sang songs to each other and swam in the river and helped and just, tra-la-la'd through life. Like that would be fabulous, And then they see like these romantic components like airships and, like all the electricity they had before, they were supposed to have it. And you think, well, there must have been this joyous time. But then like I look around and I think, well, why would it be any different? Like, like what, when did this place ever not be a prison? I don't know. I
The
don't know.
best way for someone to be controlled is to not know exactly that they're being controlled. And that is
Well, that's how the
technology.
United States came about. Nothing better than a slave that thinks they're free.
Hey man, we all live two lives, right? We can go inward and reconcile our thoughts and differences, and then but some of us do go out into the world to go grocery shopping and talk to friends, and so you kind of have to have one foot in the puddle and one foot in the lake, right? So I mean,
Yeah,
they can do
essentially.
whatever they want to the lake. In my puddle, my thoughts rule, and nobody's controlling that. So
Well, there's
at the
a
end of the day, we're all free and, on a strictly, spiritual frequency vibration level. But, when you go to the store and it's oppressive, you remember, like we're in two worlds, right?
Oh my God. I know you have to go into like, public mode.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's when you feel what they're trying to do. When they ask you if you have a rewards card and it won't scan and you go to collect your points, but the website's down, that shit's frustrating.
I like to fuck with them though. Because I use cash mostly, right?
Oh, I don't do any of that, but
And so when you give them cash nowadays, they take this little pen, check it to see if it's counterfeit or not. So they'll do that. And it just pisses me off, So they go and they give me my change and I'll say, oh, okay, hang on just a second. Let me see your little pen there. And they're like, what are you doing? And I check the bills. I'm like, look, you don't trust me. I don't trust you either, man. How do I know you're not taking real money and giving me back counterfeit shit, right?
Well said.
At least the girl at the hardware store, she'll check you, do that check, test the bill or whatever, and be like, it's all right. I just made it yesterday.
I just want to say
think.
though, because they took away the Canadian penny, if you pay cash, they round to the nearest, right? So if you pay for something and it's $7.52, you only have to give them $7.50, right? They'll eat the 2 cents, but there's some stores that just always round up. And I went into Home Depot, good old Home Depot guys, the fun American company that it is, and they ate the difference. Like it should have been rounded up, but they rounded it down anyways. I thought that was impressive. That's
you'll
one
be
thing you
happy
guys
to
got
know.
going for you.
You'll be happy to know that Home Depot in celebration of Pride Month will not sell a straight piece of lumber for nothing.
Sounds about right. They've been celebrating Pride Month for a really long time.
Every month is Pride Month with fucking Home Depot. They ain't got a
Pride year, I guess.
in there.
You got to check every single one when you pull them out of the file.
Jeez, dude, that's getting harder
Every
and harder
one of
these
them.
days too. You go to the lumber yard to find a straight piece of wood. Jeez Louise. Man, you'll go through 3/4 of that thing before you find a couple pieces.
They don't store them in lump. They just store them on racks.
Outdoors, on racks. It's ridiculous.
If you're going to store them outdoors, and even if you're going to do it indoors, you probably should. You put them on.
That's mainly the commercial. I mean, if you go to like a sawmill or something, which is it's like going to the butcher. It's obviously going to be more expensive, but you're going to get what you pay for.
Put them on a lumber press. Okay, that's all you got to do. It's a really cool thing. We had them at Gardeners out in California.
Or make it yourself.
And what it is, it's like these two fork tongues, like kind of like on a lift, right?
Yeah.
But it's just on this little stand, and once you have the lumber stacked underneath of it, then you bring it down, and it's heavy, and it sets down with these 3 tongues on top of the lumber. And if you've got some uneven spots or whatever, you can actually put a couple blocks in there, and it'll straighten the wood out. That way, your whole stack will stay fucking straight. But they don't. You couldn't probably find anybody smart enough to be able to operate one of those anymore.
I'm going to show you a video that's associated with just electricity. Just bear with me it's only like a minute and a half long.
Good.
While you're queuing that up, Sav, thank you for your hospitality. Always a
Yes,
pleasure,
ma'am. Thank
gentlemen.
you.
I'm gonna go back and watch, but thank you for just at least humoring my
Yeah, man.
consideration. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I can't help but think that there's something kind of nefarious with all those bones. You know, I just can't. I just can't help but think that there's something nefarious behind why those people are dead. I don't think they died of natural causes. Let me put it that way. All right, here we go.
So yeah, this is something I do a lot of these tests. Not all of them work, but this one I had some students tell me, yeah, it definitely works. I just don't have the time. I haven't done it yet. So here we go. It's an electric train. This can be used.
Well, okay. Let's see what's going on.
It gets more complicated. There. Look at that.
But what is that? He put those magnets on a battery?
Yeah. It would just take a long time to make those copper coils. Probably half an hour to an hour. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like that.
Huh.
Fucking cool, huh?
That is pretty cool. I'll watch this one. Pretty neat, dude. Pretty neat.
Pretty good video.
Yeah, I'll put the link to that in the side chat and in the main chat.
I've seen it done in a copper pipe where they did that and ran it through a straight copper pipe.
But, yeah, that's different. That doesn't incorporate Lenz's law, though.
It works just like a copper coil, a copper tube will.
Yep.
No, it doesn't.
It's got that same thing. It's got that. It's just basically it's just a very, very tight wound coil.
The whole thing's a coil.
Yeah. It's like what I say about a copper bowl. A copper bowl is nothing more than a copper tube with a conclusion.
Yeah.
That's why the chefs use it to make meringue. In their
don't they have to chill the bowl or something?
Well, it's the creating the vortex in the bowl with the whip, and it's reacting with that copper electromagnetic field. It's just crazy. I've dropped a magnet down through a copper tube and it just floats. It just
Andrew,
floats.
can you put that video in the private chat for me so I could grab that?
I think you did.
Oh, okay, excellent. Thank you.
You already did. Jeez.
I'm sorry, I'm a little slow.
Yeah, man.
It's okay. I still love you.
I love all you guys.
Franks and beans.
Tell them, Jerry.
Franks and beans. Yeah.
That's from that fucking Ben Stiller
Something
movie.
About Mary.
Yeah, that kid got his nuts.
Have you seen my baseball?
Franks and beans.
Franks and beans.
When Ben Stiller wasn't. Yeah. Actually, yeah, he's always been there, man.
Yeah. You know who his dad is,
Check
right?
that. Yeah.
That's the guy.
He used to be on Seinfeld, right? Or wait.
Yeah, he played. He was Costanza's dad.
Yeah.
Oh, Frank.
On
He was
Seinfeld.
Frank.
Yeah.
Serenity now. Serenity now.
Yeah.
Him and that wife were just always fucking yelling at each other every time.
That's my uncle.
You got an aunt and uncle like that? No
Oh,
shit.
you used to, yeah.
Are you guys down for one more segment of the Flat Earth?
Sure.
movie?
I was just listening in. I was doing stuff on the side. So
It's only 9 o'clock, and I I cut out from work early tonight, so fuck yeah, do it.
All right, here we go.
That was interesting. I like that.
Real quick, Jeremy Bird sent me this book. He does. If I'll drop his links in the chat. But Sonny Davis wrote this book. Both guys are real good guys of the Flat Earth community. Go check him out. But he does like a little trivia giveaway. He's trying to get lots of people these books and hoodies and stuff. So I'll drop a link and show up to this. He usually does like a Saturday a live stream. But check him out if you got time.
What's the book about?
I haven't read it yet, but here, I'll read the back a little bit. With regard to the astrotheological perspective intratulity, I can't even pronounce that word, plus it's hard to read, observable celestial phenomenon, a spellbinding splinter of the collective unconscious and unendured centuries of totalitarian sorcery. So that's just a little snippet, okay?
I threw a link in the back.
All right, cool.
It's an Amazon link.
It's about dyads, basically.
Diodes?
Dyads. Not diodes.
Oh.
Dyads, which is not even close to diodes.
Yeah, that's deep thinking.
No, diodes
The
are
book looks interesting, though. Thanks for that, Cubby.
Yeah, give me a second. I'll get those links.
All right, I got to mute.
Paperback and get it for $11.
Tip tap goes the rain, spitting on my window pane. Drip drip from the trees, sodden earthy and soggy leaves. Splosh splash puddle pools, jumping on their way to schools. Onomatopoeia, the formation or use of words that imitate the sounds associated with the object or actions they refer to. The property of a word of sounding like what it represents. Water has many. The interdependent relationship between water and sound is so fundamental to our connection and understanding of water. The rain patters and drums, the waves roar, the brook murmurs and whispers, the puddles of mud squelch, that it is intrinsically woven into the very linguistic code of our language. Many have explored the powerful connection between sound and water. We have Masaru Emoto and his study exploring the impact of sound on the molecular structure of water. We have those that like to play around with cymatics. There is Peter Davey, a saxophone player who invented a device that boils water with sonic waves. The innovative use of sound coupled with water seems to have no end. So much so that in recent times, biologists are discovering that ultrasonic water can even treat the most resistant of infections and heal wounds at rapid pace. And in a future where electromagnetism was harnessed with the utmost innovation, water, sound, and frequency had to have a major role to play. And of course it did. They wanted us to know that it did. And not just the water here on Earth. They were telling us to look up and above. They wanted us to know that what they had achieved right here on Earth was only possible because they had studied what existed above. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. Some criticize the King James translation of the Bible for its use of the word firmament. But in the original Hebrew, the word is rakia, which translates directly as firmament. In the New International Version, it is called the vault. In the English Standard Version, it is an expanse. In the Good News Translation, it is dome. What is important, however, is that in all translations, and in the original Hebrew, the notion of the firmament or vault separating the waters above from the waters below does not change and remains consistent. There is water above our realm. The telescope is an interesting instrument, both at once an apparatus for discovery and simultaneously a weapon of deceit. There are two primary types of telescope, the refractor and the reflector. A refractor uses an objective lens, usually a convex lens, and a reflector utilizes a single or a combination of curved mirrors to reflect light and form an image. Many reflector telescopes use either a concave mirror or a parabolic mirror. This is what a reflection looks like in these mirrors. The eyes we were born with, and which we see the world through, are convex lenses. We do not witness the world through curved mirror reflections. This is Jupiter, as seen through a reflecting Newtonian telescope. And despite the slight spherical distortion caused by the reflected mirrors, this is still not what NASA has shown us. Your mind immediately sees a planet because you have been programmed since birth to associate an image like this with the notion of a planet. Just in the same way you associate the moon with a ball of rock by default. But as you can see here, both refracting and reflecting telescopes produce images similar to the Nikon P900. The Nikon lenses have been criticized by some astronomers as lacking the power to really see the luminaries above. But as you can see here, there is not much difference between the Nikon and both types of telescope. And in each we see that Jupiter is radiating some kind of light of its own. Both amateur and professional astronomers present footage such as this. But look what happens next. The astronomers here are using imaging processing software to turn their raw images and footage, which display a circular object in the sky above us radiating its own light, into a NASA-style planet. And this type of doctored, processed image is not what we see with our own eyes through these lenses. I am not saying that this is deliberate deception. Astronomy is a practice of its own. But it is very important to never confuse the highly edited images and footage we receive with reality. And it is also worth being mindful of those that are being very manipulative. They are usually the astronomers with the paid sponsorship from magazines and websites. It is also important to note that what we call planets are not actually planets. They are wandering stars, and all of the wandering stars are of a similar nature to the moon. Unlike the rest of the stars above our firmament, their course and journey above us is not fixed and consistent. Their paths deviate from the concentric paths that the rest of the stars consistently make around Polaris. And the reason for this is because they are not located within the waters beyond the firmament. They are very different, and their function is way more occult, and their significance to life here on Earth much more important than we realize. We will be returning to the true nature of the so-called planets and moon later. Back to the waters. Arcturus is one of the brightest stars in the sky. Here is Science Magazine's artistic impression of the star. And now here is Arcturus as seen through a refracting telescope. There is no resemblance. What we see through this telescope footage is really similar to what we see when you zoom in on the stars above with a powerful Nikon camera. Many criticize the refracting telescope because it can produce chromatic aberration. Chromatic aberration is a failure of the lens to focus all color to the same point. the result can be purple fringing, and we see that here. Photographs can suffer from chromatic aberration. Interestingly, the Nikon does not produce the same chromatic aberration when zooming in on Arcturus. Therefore, you could say that the Nikon is actually more reliable and stable. Through both the telescopic lens and the Nikon, Arcturus is pulsing, shifting, rippling. It is dancing geometry. Many will jump up from their seats and exclaim, it's because of atmospheric distortion and light pollution. It's because Arcturus is so far away. But if it is atmospheric distortion, then why do all the stars display their own unique geometry and light patterns? They should all distort in a unified, consistent manner. It is not atmospheric distortion. The stars are pockets of sonoluminescence in the water above. They are self-illuminating, radiating their own light and frequencies in the waters above. Our own convex lensed eyes tell us that there is some kind of water above. We see it in the stars and when rockets accidentally hit the firmament. And, like I said before, just because the so-called planets or wandering stars and the moon appear spherical does not mean they are. They are not synonymous with the stars in the water beyond. They are something else entirely. Our advanced predecessors wanted us to watch the stars. They wanted us to understand that electromagnetic vibration and frequency produce pockets of sonoluminescence in the waters above. They were pointing it out because they wanted us to know that water was the key to unlocking the real potential of electromagnetic energy. They wanted us to know that once harnessed, the ethereal electromagnetic energy could be fused with water, so it could be stored and distributed. And once produced, the water could be manipulated, enhanced, and elevated to a level of new possibilities through the use of vibration, frequency, and sound itself. Their civilization depended on the industry of what we will call the living waters. Their technological advancement enabled them to transform the entire Earth into a power grid. But this grid was only possible because of water. The civilization of the future was an electromagnetic water world. Canals are no great secret. They are found everywhere across our realm, both the great and the small. Most of the great canals around our Earth are connected to the ocean. Salt water is an excellent conductor of electricity. Sodium chloride is ionized. We have the Corinth Canal, connected to the Aegean Sea. We have the Panama Canal that connects both the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. The Suez Canal connects with the Mediterranean Sea. And there is the Volga-Don Canal, connecting the Azov Sea, Caspian Sea, and Black Sea with the major oceanic networks. All of the canals built before the 1920s were not built by us or those in the history books. We inherited them. And while the official narrative tells us that the Volga-Don was finished during the 1950s, its construction actually began back in the 16th century. All narratives surrounding the construction of these canals is purely fabricated, and I will show you how much later in our journey. Once you start paying attention, it becomes very evident that most continents and countries feature a combination of canals and rivers that span the entirety of the land itself. The citizens of the old world utilize the oceans and rivers to create a grid of interconnected waterways to provide water to all of their areas of habitation. In order to pass difficult sections and keep the supply going, they would build aqueducts and viaducts. Sometimes these were constructed with the purpose of energizing the water as it passed through and into different areas, and that is why many were designed with symmetrical archivolt structures. The Romans did not build these structures. The entire infrastructure of so many cities found across our realm are designed around canal systems. Look at Amsterdam from above. The precise geometric grid lines here are not roads, they are canals. And the sole purpose was to supply water from one area to another. The water was stored and manipulated for a variety of purposes in reservoirs, water towers, pumping stations, cisterns, and other structures. The water also functioned to provide necessary balance, a complex grid of electromagnetic production, distribution, and consumption would generate a lot of heat and magnetism. Water provided not only a balance of diamagnetism, but also ensured the entire grid did not overheat. When looking at all the magnificent generators and other instruments of power from the old world, we can always find water nearby, or the remains of water storage. Sometimes this is hidden primarily underground. Many do not realize that many so-called Victorian cisterns and reservoirs run very far under a lot of our cities, and other times it is a central characteristic feature of these structures. An example of which is what the controllers have redesignated as castle moats. The electromagnetic water grid was not just an energized version of what we are already familiar with in our cities and towns. It was much, much, much more. It was way more magnificent, impressive, and futuristic than we could even imagine. The grid was connected to central, bigger power stations, or what is more appropriately termed star stations. Sometimes these were isolated stations, and other times they comprised entire cities. We are going to have to fly to a higher altitude for this. I need to show you. Hold on tight now and keep your eyes open. Look. The sole existence, let alone construction, of these star structures is almost beyond our comprehension. As you saw, they are found everywhere across our realm, with undeviating geometric consistency. A wondrous impossibility. Perhaps they had some kind of technology that allowed them to view huge areas of land from above while planning and building. They were never forts. That is a fairy tale invented by our controllers. The stunning geometric precision and symmetry of the star structures would most likely have functioned to enhance the power of the generators and to etherize the water, or turn the water into living, energized water. We can see from comparing some of these ruined sites, and some left a little more intact, that water would have been present throughout the structure. Before the controllers destroyed and drained most of these structures, they were full of water. They were connected to rivers and canals and the oceans. They were a key component of the entire power grid. The star structures are fractals of symmetrical geometry, just like many of the ceilings of these huge energy generators. And, like the acoustic cavity magnetrons and resonators, the symmetrical sharp diagonal walls would have caused the ions to perpetually vibrate. Old plans and illustrations, which have no doubt been edited or manipulated in some way or another, offer suggestion as to how complex, integrated, and essential the star geometry was to the entire grid. Look at Paris here. It isn't obvious at first glance, but upon closer inspection, we come to realize that the entirety of Paris was itself a star station, or a star city. And like with everything else constructed in the old world, these structures were at once functional and a celebration of the source of their innovation. Look closer at the star geometry here. Can you see the resemblance? The snowflake. Do you remember what happened in Masaru Emoto's experiment on water? Ethereal vibration expressing itself through water's molecular structure. Those of the old world had perfected this science. They knew the key to releasing electromagnetism's potential was through sound and water. Just imagine what they were able to achieve. Sound, vibration, and frequency was just as integral to the success of their technology as water was. Those of the old world did not hide their adoration for sound. Traces of this love for sound are everywhere. These structures were literally instruments of power. Or as the so-called Goethe put it so succinctly elsewhere, music is liquid architecture. Architecture is frozen music. This is why so many generators, capacitors, power stations, and intermediates feature holes, pediments, dentils, indentations, and complex 3D ornamentation. They were structural openings to manipulate sound waves, the vibrations and acoustics, so they could tune the electromagnetic energy in conjunction with the water in a variety of ways to achieve different results. They were similar to the aerophone instruments such as the flute, the pipe, the recorder, the bassoon, and the trumpet. The old world revered the geometry of the star because it was through the study of the stars in the waters above that they learned the power of fusing electromagnetism, vibration, and frequency with water itself. They all work harmoniously and in concert with one another. This interconnected and interdependent energetic relationship is what makes the stars and all life itself possible in the first place. Look a little closer at the dancing geometry of the sonoluminescent stars beyond the firmament. Do they remind you of something else? That's right, all of the magnetrons, or what we've come to call rose windows, were designed to mirror the cymatic patterns of ether's vibrations in water itself. Artist Tanya Harris was onto something in 2013 when she turned her attention to studying and recording the silent resonant frequency of churches. By placing water inside of a loudspeaker, she was able to discover the hidden geometry of these resonant frequencies. The results showed that even the silence within these structures produced strong cymatic patterns. And again, can you see the resemblance? Others have applied the same technique and studied the cymatic patterns displayed when bells chimed within the structures. Look at the patterns. Magnetrons. This is why so many magnificent rose windows resemble cymatic patterns so closely. This is why they look like the petrified pulsations of a star. The entire ceilings of many cathedrals also mirror this sacred cymatic geometry. This is why so many of the structures contain huge bells and chiming clocks. The tolling bells would emit powerful vibrations and frequencies and influence an entire area's water supply. The sound would influence the molecular structure of the water, which was then used for a variety of purposes. And that's not all. Many of these structures also housed another wonder of the world, the king of sound, the organ. Have you ever stopped to look at some of the great organs before? These were not constructed by ordinary people in the 19th, 18th, 17th, and 16th centuries. Like the structures they reside in, they are a marvel of elegance and majesty. The most powerful sound instrument in the world. The specific organ sound waves of low and high frequencies would no doubt have enabled those of the old world to manipulate the ethereal energy in ways they saw fit. The magnetron rose windows that would not have contained glass would amplify these sound waves, which in turn would influence the molecular structure and properties of the etherized living water. Organs would have had multiple uses, perhaps providing entire towns with specific resonant frequencies for good health and prosperity. The specific functions of the organ have been deliberately hidden and withheld from our knowledge. Interestingly, the official history states that the first organs of the world were water organs, in which the power source pushing the air is derived by water from a natural source or by a manual pump. No doubt a deceptive half-truth disguising the instrument's true interaction with water. And like I said before, most of these structures had areas nearby to store and hold large quantities of water. Many of the structures feature underground cavities or huge cisterns, some of which have been drained and some kept intact. Sometimes the cistern was located apart from and outside of the structure. The controllers have redesignated many of these areas as Roman baths. That's why Bath Cathedral in England is located right next to the Roman baths. The water was also stored in red brick power stations, capacitors, or water towers. Open rectangular sites, reservoirs, wells, and step wells. This is why step wells were constructed with precise geometric patterns. Again, the symmetrical structures here work to encourage oscillation or vibration of the ions. They kept the water electromagnetically charged, and the aqueducts and viaducts would have worked in a similar fashion. It is likely that a lot of the huge electromagnets we see scattered across our realm would have actually straddled passing water, much like we see on the Volga-Don Canal, even though it's unlikely that the Volga Arch is original, and that many roads themselves were constructed during the Great Reset. It is likely that the inheritors of the 19th century were instructed to drain and fill many of the tributaries that once carried water. That's why we see drained castle moats and star stations. Perhaps that's what a lot of the surplus mud we see during this period was used for. Perhaps a lot of homes and buildings were constructed with underground chambers to store their own personal supply of living water, and these areas were destroyed, filled in, and forever hidden with vast amounts of mud during the 19th century. The use of electromagnetism, sound waves, and water would have had endless applications and uses in the old world, most of which we will never know about. But many structural remains do offer a lot of clues. The abundance of remarkable and impossible stately homes, halls, and manors found throughout our realm all point to the mass-scale farming practices of the old world. We travel miles to marvel at their beauty and grandeur. But more impressive than the structures themselves are their gardens and water gardens. We have the Palace of Versailles, Schwetzingen Palace, the Royal Palace of Caserta, Nymphenburg Palace, Herrenhausen Palace. Even today, they still retain much of their splendor and brilliance. But it's when we look at some of the old plans of these areas that we realize just how otherworldly these sites were. They were never constructed to house the elite. They were the farms of old. Look at the gardens. They are cymatic gardens. Even from these old illustrated plans, we can see just how gargantuous these farms were. Microcosmic grid systems, suggestive of the entire larger power grid itself. The cymatic gardens were likely grids cultivated with sound and the living water to grow food, herbs, and who knows what else. Even contemporary scientists openly acknowledge that sound waves strongly influence the growth of fruit, vegetables, and crops. And to this day, some of these structures retain a lot of their glory when viewed from above. The Palace of Versailles, a wondrous geometric marvel, a collection of impossible structures, extraordinary cymatic gardens, and water systems. Let's venture closer into the Palace of Versailles and have a look. Hold on now. Wait, what? This is not the Palace of Versailles. I really need to fix this thing. It's been acting up a lot lately. Where are we? Wait a minute. I recognize this place. Memories from a long time ago. This is Chatsworth House in the Peak District, England. Oh well, this should do. Come on, let's see what we can find. Chatsworth House was completed in 1708, we are told. Its story, much like the story of the entire Peak District, is a fabrication, a complete lie. The place has changed much over the years. It is situated beneath two large bodies of water, the Emperor and Swiss Lake. The water from the lakes is channeled across a broken aqueduct before falling 79 feet and meandering gently down the hills in complex waterways and running right into Chatsworth Estate. The waters feed the estate's own lakes, rivers and streams through a series of runways and a multitude of complex tunnels beneath the estate and the structure itself. Due to the estate's repurposing, much of this remains hidden, but you can see the tunnels quite clearly here, snaking their way down. It is one interconnected water system. Waterways deliver themselves into waterfalls at the impressive rockery before continuing on their journey. All of the water gathers into a central, rectangular front piece, which feeds the Emperor Fountain. The water then continues underground until it pours into the River Derwent, a 66-mile-long tributary of the River Trent, which runs throughout the Peak District. While much of the estate has undergone some serious restoration, which is actually a fancy, deceptive word for criminal gutting and destruction of technology, there are a lot of haunting remains of its former glory. It is important to note that unlike many of the huge energy generators, Chatsworth House was probably partially occupied. By farmers, that is. The central engine was located off-site, and has been subsequently removed and repurposed as a larder to store hunted game. This magnificent, gorgeous structure would have functioned as a small generator, which also contained a small engine in its center. It was repurposed as the stables. The horses of the 19th century clearly lived better lives than most of the population. Above, atop of the hill next to the Emperor and Swiss Lake, we can see the quadruple capacitor or water tower. This was repurposed as a hunting tower. But stalking the 105-acre grounds, a visitor with eyes to see might spot some unusual sights. One of which is the half-ruined obelisk hidden away in the tangled overgrowth at the bottom of the hill below the lake. The official, controlled history that visitors receive when touring Chatsworth conveniently leaves out any mention of the obelisk. For you see, the hunting tower was not Chatsworth's only capacitor. The entire estate needed constant water storage to fulfill its energetic requirements and purposes. There are many odd structures dotted around that remain unexplained. And then there is this, the Cascade, a true little wonder. The dome, a series of toroidal circles that rise to meet the smaller copper dome. They tread carefully here, making sure they force a distorted history on you. But, as always, they cannot help themselves. They just have to tell you, in their own roundabout controlled manner. As the placard states, water can be made to flow over the roof and out of 13 spouts. Some of these spouts are crafted in the form of immaculate stone dolphins and giant fish. There are even hidden jets in the floor, they tell us. The water is received from the lakes above and is used twice more in its journey to meet the River Derwent below. Once in the South Lawn Fountain, and again the private West Garden. But look closer at what they acknowledge. Each step of the cascade is different from the one below and above it to vary the sound of the falling water. This was allegedly built in 1703. Why would an 18th century people be concerned with varying the sound of falling water? How did they even have the knowledge and skills to manipulate the sound of water like this? And it's everywhere in the estate. The waterways, streams, and rivers all meander gently down to rest briefly at ponds and lakes before continuing their journey toward the River Derwent. Their journey is one of such splendid sounds. As you begin to traverse the labyrinthine passages of our corrupted history, you will inevitably meet the lithographs, renderings, engravings, illustrations, and paintings. How easy it is to lie when there is no photographic or visual evidence, just artistic interpretation. We would never accept illustrations as reliable sources of information today. So why do we accept them as historically accurate? And while these are not to be trusted, devoting some time to browsing their particulars can yield some interesting insights. For instance, the fountain here looks wildly out of proportion. Did it used to jet water more powerfully? And some would claim artistic exaggeration. But if you dig a little deeper, you come to learn that the original Emperor fountain, constructed in 1843, was able to jet water at a height of 296 feet. What? How? This is the 19th century we're talking about. And like I said, they cannot help themselves. Even Wikipedia states that the water power of the fountain found a practical use in generating Chatsworth's electricity. There it is, barely hidden in plain sight. And as we continue browsing these little illustrations, we stumble across it. An old engraving of Chatsworth from above. Look at the size of this. cymatic gardens, rows and rows of crops, large bodies of water that are no longer there. And again, many would claim artistic exaggeration, the unreliability and inaccuracy of illustrations, and rightly so. But when we look at Chatsworth from above on Google Earth, what is this we find? Shadows on the ground across from the river? No, these are the markings of old infrastructure that was torn down. The markings suggest there was once a bridge here, a bridge we see in the illustration. Look a little closer. An octagon with the clear outline of an old generator. So yes, the illustration is a lie. The estate was much, much larger than depicted here. In 2018, there was a heat wave in England, and the old markings of Chatsworth's former glory started appearing in the grounds themselves. They had to acknowledge it. Sometimes mud and lies are not enough to bury the truth. Chatsworth was a huge farm in the old world. As I said before, the illustrations and paintings are not to be trusted. More often than not, they are used as tools of deception against us. But as you see here, they do have a tendency to backfire on the controllers. Just like with the plans of star stations and cities, our own technological access to tools, such as Google Earth, validate these old plans and illustrations as half-truths. You can bet good money that even the plans and illustrations are only giving us a fraction of the full picture, just like here with the plan of Chatsworth. And it's in Chatsworth that we encounter the first of many acts of barbaric desecration by the hands of the enemy. Chatsworth's great conservatory stood immense until destroyed in 1920. It was 84 meters long and 20 meters high, and constructed, they say, in 1840 before the establishment of automatic glass manufacturing. Huge interconnected tunnels and water pipes collected under the ground of the structure to provide heating via boilers and hot water. An engineering feat as impossible as the construction of the structure itself. It was designed by Chatsworth's gardener, Joseph Paxton. Paxton is a phantom that haunts the pages of the history books. Paxton's story is one of fortunate circumstance, daring innovation, and success. It is, unfortunately, a dishonest story, an unconvincing fiction. We are told that Paxton secured a gardening role when he was 20 years old, while working at Chiswick Gardens. And it was here that he encountered William Cavendish, the Duke of Devonshire, who was so impressed by young Paxton's horticultural abilities that he hired him as head gardener of Chatsworth House. Paxton is responsible for creating the following: Chatsworth's Arboretum, its rockery, the Emperor Fountain. You remember, the fountain that sprayed water into the air at twice the height of Nelson's Column. The Great Conservatory. He was responsible for cultivating the Cavendish banana, the most consumed banana in the world today, and designing railway stations all over the Peak District. What a talented and productive young man. Paxton's achievements, however, did not end with the banana and the conservatory. The farce doesn't end here. What a tangled web we weave when setting out to deceive. Paxton's success with Chatsworth led him to design the infamous Crystal Palace of London, just in time for the Great Exhibition of 1851. It was originally constructed in Hyde Park for the fair. It was constructed in just over a year, an engineering feat never again repeated. It was made from more than 1,000 iron bars, and its overall mass comprised of over 4,000 tons of iron. The Chance Brothers Glassworks in Smethwick provided the 300,000 sheets of glass. Remember, This was before automatic glass manufacturing. This is the glassworks in which the glass was produced. A simple maths equation gives us an average of 822 glass panes produced every day, 7 days a week, for a year. Right here in this factory. This was Paxton's initial planned sketch for the structure. He went from this to this in a year. Furthermore, the entire Crystal Palace was able to house gigantic trees, and they had to board a lot of the glass panes up and cover a lot of the top of the structure during the World's Fair exhibition because the interior of the structure became too hot. Wouldn't Paxton, who designed the Chatsworth Conservatory, know that a huge glass palace would produce immense heat? The entire narrative soon dissolves into stupidity when we realize that a year later, in 1852, they dismantled the Crystal Palace and moved the entire structure to Sydenham in southeast London, where it was rebuilt with 2 additional huge water towers at either end of the monstrous structure. Interestingly, no photographic evidence of the original Hyde Park Palace exists. Just illustrations. Wouldn't the structure have been the focus of many photographers during the opening of the Great Exhibition of 1851, the first of its kind? It is highly likely there were either 2 of these Crystal Palaces in London and both destroyed, or the Hyde Park Palace is just an outright lie. Interestingly, a few years after its relocation to Sydenham, this map of the palace was produced, all designed at the hand of our genius gardener. He struggled with the water supply, we are told. After all, supplying 12,000 fountains, 2 of which shot water 250 feet into the air, and the various cascades would be a difficult task to achieve. But clearly not for Paxton. He made it happen. Interestingly, the Crystal Palace also featured one of these impossible, grand, and spectacular organs. Oh, and if that wasn't enough, while Mr. Paxton was redesigning the Crystal Palace at Sydenham, he was also designing the glorious Mentmore Towers for none other than Baron Mayer Rothschild. Who would have thought that a random, young 20-something gardener would go on to be responsible for some of the most impossible and impressive engineering feats in history? Let's also not forget about his banana. Paxton is an example of the enemy's laziness when it comes to hiding our true history. It is not fathomable or even possible for the citizens of the 19th century to have even built these structures, let alone assign their inception to one sole man. The Crystal Palace and its gardens, just like Chatsworth, were huge farming grids that used the living water in conjunction with sound and electromagnetic energy to cultivate a whole range of wondrous produce. Kew Gardens in London is another example. The abundant electromagnetic energy was able to produce conditions of heat with ease, and the vibrational frequencies encouraged growth. Perhaps that's why Crystal Palace housed a grand organ, utilizing frequencies and vibrations to enable the growth of produce. And that's why the controllers were able to assign the cultivation of the banana, an exotic fruit, to a fabricated Englishman. The technology already established in England was able to grow many things with ease. Among other impressive horticultural achievements attributed to Paxton's genius were the perfect pineapples, another tropical fruit he grew at Chatsworth. He grew enormous lily pads, which could hold the weight of a human. He grew gigantic sequoia redwoods at Chatsworth, which usually only thrive in humid conditions. He grew them with ease, and many of these redwoods remain today, a spectacular sight to behold. It's probably worth noting that among Paxton's many other talents, Wikipedia also tells us that he became quite skilled in moving gigantic trees, as well as gigantic crystal palaces. The largest of these trees weighing 7,000 kilograms. How? With horse and cart? Why are humans so gullible? They destroyed the beautiful and impossible Chatsworth Conservatory in 1920. As the Duke's son said in a letter to his father, they blew off well over 200 pounds of explosives to tear it down. So it must have been well built. The structures of the old world were built to stand for centuries. What a great shame. The lies surrounding the Peak District do not end with Paxton. The entire national park was one gigantic interconnected electromagnetic water system of the old world. It was most likely one of Britain's primary suppliers of farming goods. The national park boasts one of the largest collections of stately homes, halls, and manors, all of which would have functioned as huge farms. It was also a regional retreat that specialized in healing. Yes, that's right, healing. The Peak District is home to two large towns, Matlock and Buxton. Buxton is famous for its bottled water, and Matlock is renowned for its historical baths. Even today, both towns boast an enviable collection of old world structures. We see an abundance of old generators, domed pavilion structures, capacitors, colonnades, columns, bandstands, gardens, and water systems. Overlooking the town of Matlock is River Castle. Its silhouetted frame and turrets stand regal in the distance. It is a derelict structure and has been derelict for over a century. The curious public are not allowed near the structure. They tell us it was built very quickly by a Mr. John Smedley. Smedley was, we are told, an industrialist. By the 1850s, he had become the driving force behind Matlock's hydropathic industry. Hydropathy is the practice of healing and curing diseases through the use of water. The official narrative states that Smedley built Smedley's Hydro, which sits on Smedley Street in Matlock. It is now a government council building. Smedley's Hydro was just one of the hydropathies in the region. At one point, we are told, there were over 20 hydropathic establishments in the region. Just look at these structures. Smedley did not build the Hydro. Its structure, an immense water tower, evades his capabilities and the capabilities of all the 19th century citizens. The citizens of the 19th century Peak District inherited all of this infrastructure, and the controllers of our realm knew that they needed to squash any possibility of it being used for its original intended purposes, or for any of the inheritors to discover the truth. It was just too obvious, and soon someone amongst the crowd might start putting two and two together. So they did what they do best and employed a puppet. But unlike Paxton, who was able to achieve fame and fortune for taking all of the credit, Smedley had a different role to play, a role that many puppets in our society today still play. His mission was to carefully control the introduction of hydropathy, only for it to be declared primitive or fraudulent, and then subsequently buried and eradicated as a serious practice. His story is a very similar story to another enemy puppet that has gained a lot more attention over the years. I too once fell for the lies surrounding this man's story. The hydropathies were able to accommodate hundreds of patients, and they were tremendously successful in curing a whole host of diseases and issues, ranging from inflammation and bilious attacks to paralysis, rheumatism, and fevers. This was conducted through an array of different bathing techniques, applying dripping sheets as bandages, and fusing electricity, sound waves, and water. There were, as one newspaper reported, electric bells throughout the buildings. No doubt the actual potential of hydropathy was never fully expressed in Smedley's array of hydros, but they nonetheless helped people tremendously. And they were a huge success, so the controllers temporarily profited financially. The hydros healed and increased the well-being of people through water and its fusion with sound, vibration, frequency, and electricity. Look at the electric treatment menu from one of the old brochures. Options for high-powered parabolic reflector, electric ionization, and high-frequency treatment. Smedley also demonstrated the ability of etherized water to heat entire rooms in a profound way. The fernery at the hydro had a water heating system built into its walls and always maintained a constant temperature of 65 degrees, even when the room was filled with a crowd of 350 or so visitors. The temperature never deviated. How was this kind of technology available in the 19th century, and yet today we do not have access to this kind of sophisticated heating? Historians and journalists of the time would deliberately smear Smedley, casting hydropathy as pseudoscience, comparable with homeopathy. Smedley had many battles with the burgeoning medical industry, and after his death, the hydros were purchased and the structural alterations began. Like Tesla, Smedley played his role and successfully introduced the science of the old world to have it debunked, tarnished, and sidelined forever. Hydropathy today is regarded as nothing more than a relaxing spa venture. All of its original applications of frequency and electricity have been eradicated from the practice. Smedley's role-playing allowed the controllers to justify the entire water grid system of the Peak District, successfully preventing the current 19th century and further subsequent generations from questioning its presence. The remains of the grid today are so evident. You can sit and relax to the soothing sound of water falling over the turreted regal Derwent Reservoir, which connects the entire region through its branching rivers and canals. You can stroll around shopping inside of old power stations and at old pumping stations. And in every area of the region, there are wonders waiting to be discovered. Not only in the larger towns do we find old fountains that once provided the living waters, but also in the remote villages. Tucked away, we find an old dry fountain. Look, the Lord's gift, a bittersweet joy to behold. The citizens of the old world unlocked the power of electromagnetic water by studying the stars above in the firmament. The stars above taught them that the key to manipulating the ethereal energy they harnessed from the ionosphere was through water, sound waves, vibration, and frequency. They honored this gift by constructing domes, by crafting star cities, cymatic magnetrons, and praising the Lord and Holy Spirit for the living waters they received in return. They understood the firmament as both scientists and disciples. Viewer, I am hoping the picture is starting to become clearer in your mind, and you will inevitably start to see things in a different light when pondering all of these impossible structures. It is not a coincidence that some structures like the Colosseum are also referred to as amphitheaters. Have you seen them from above? They look like speakers. Amphitheater is an interesting word. An amp is a unit of electric current, and an amplifier is a device that increases signal, especially microwaves and audio. And no doubt you will start to put two and two together in terms of some of the inventions that we were allowed to play around with before they were discarded as antique in their efficiency. But time is of the essence. We could ponder examples of the old world's electromagnetic water grid system for hours, but I encourage you to get out and hunt down these structures yourself and to document them in your own time. We have to move on. We need to start. Wait, what? You want to know if these came from the old world? Yes, they did. And they are extremely important. The inevitable ticking of the clock. A deeply unsettling instrument, but unavoidable. I need to show you one more missing piece of the electromagnetic puzzle first, and then we will take a closer look at these timekeeping instruments. Come on, let's keep moving.
You're muted, Tav.
Pretty good.
We're at 2 hours and 49 minutes on that. So
Yeah,
Very nice.
Honestly, Dave, I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. And shout out to the panel, shout out to the chat. One of the few channels on the internet that is actually trying to spread the truth and somehow still gets away with it. It must be Jesus Christ incarnate. I don't know. I don't know, Dave. I don't know what's going on. You uncancelable. I love it.
Oh man, I just don't
But
focus.
right? But Dave, I got to tell you, man, and I'll keep this short, guys, because I have a tendency to fucking rant.
Yeah, we're gonna
When
get
we
off
look
here too. So
Well,
I'm
you're right.
tired as
When we look at ancient cultures, when we look at people from 7, 6, 5,000 years ago, they are directly responsible and therefore credible for us existing today. And they had a pretty detailed understanding of our reality. Somehow along the way, we just dropped the ball. And that's why I love your channel, Dave, because
tricked by the devil, man.
oh shit, you said it, not me.
It is. It's satanic, man. 100%. Mr. Big Nose, what's happening? Let you get your word in here before we sign out here.
Get in, King Stephen.
Hello. I
called that one, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Good God. Go away, dude. Why do you keep trying? Fuck you.
You can just see it.
I hate fucking people like that.
Do you want? I don't know if Crystal's asking to the link to this lost history.
Oh, I
video.
have it. It's no, I have the. I have it saved. I don't.
Hang on, I'll stick it in real quick.
Okay, because I'm not streaming this off of YouTube or any other platform. I have it recorded.
And Dave, I just got to say, someone in the chat said, were there people 7,000 years ago? We have archaeological and what do they call it? Fucking, what's the study of humans? Anthropological evidence that there were people alive in the Southern Asian hemisphere, the Middle Eastern hemisphere, upwards of 7,000 to 5,000 years ago. So, like pre-colonial era, pre-Illuminati era, if we just go back to worshiping gods in the sky and all this weird shit going on, you know, the Chinese with the dragons and the Indians with their millions of Hindu gods, it really begs to ask the question, why are we disregarding what our ancestors were trying to tell us? And that's why I love communities like this, because it helps me to realize I'm not fucking crazy. The world is crazy. I'm not fucking crazy.
Don't you understand, Dave? You're the newer generation. You're so much smarter than the people that came before you. I mean, you know, and this is what they've been doing for a long time, you know, telling each next generation that they're brighter and more smart while they're making them stupider and no common sense.
Especially while they're trying to erase history.
Yeah.
In the process.
You know, Dave, it's been forever since I've been talking to you, but are you familiar with the documentaries that were put out of the people who thought the earth was flat and they tried to narrate, like, you know, oh, the technology they used, it actually proved them wrong? Like, did you watch that whole psyop go down?
You know what? No. You know why? There's no doubt in my mind that anything controvertible to what I'm actually experiencing and what I know to be true is fucking stupid. Okay? And it's just people trying to, oh, you may need to relearn the shit that we made you believe before. Fuck you. That's the way I look at it. I don't care about them. That's just how I am. And you come at me with some made up fucking name, I don't even want to talk to you. You can't be honest. Like on social media, if you can't be honest about who you are and state your opinion, then fuck you. You got to take your opinion like I do your made up name. It's made up. You don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like when we were talking about the other Dave, Flat Earth Dave or whatever his name is.
Huh?
When I first met you, Flat Earth Dave, the white guy with the white hair, he's always got a hat on.
Yeah.
Dave Weiss, yeah.
Flat Earth Dave. But like when I met you, Sav, that was like a big thing for me, like God and the devil and the telemetry that NASA literally stating we have people from NASA on video, on record, on audio, stating that they lost the telemetry data to get back to the moon. Or even Van Allen radiation belt, or even Werner von Braun, Psalms on his gravestone. We would talk about this all the time, Sav, and that was like, what? That was like post-COVID? That was like 2022, 2023?
We've moved so far beyond that. I've got some ideas about the sun that I'm kind of working on.
I mean, it's crazy, Dave. It's crazy that, like my father would always say, rest in peace to him. He passed 3 years ago. My father would always say, time will tell.
Hmm?
And that's the greatest weapon you have in your arsenal, Dave, is truth and patience.
Well,
you sit here and you call your shot, and then you wait and let everybody look like a fool.
That's why I love that shirt. I saw Brian Young wearing this shirt. It says, "I need new conspiracies. All mine have come true." And it's
Wait, okay. So, Dave, do you really think we're gonna see a scenario where they convince us we've gone to Mars before we die, like Brother Cubble, Brother
they might
D-Man?
try. They might try, but they don't even have people convinced that Artemis was real. So, I don't think people are really going to buy onto it. I think that's why they're kind of like testing the water to see where people are at with that. Anyways, I mean, nobody believes in it.
The truth is going to be revealed before everyone figures out that they've been lying the whole time. Like,
oh yeah,
there's something like it's going to get to a point where everything's going to be revealed, and there ain't going to be no need for them to lie anymore because they're working towards a surveillance state to capture. I ain't going to go into it because you're trying to get off here, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got to get off here, man. I'm tired of shit, man. I'm ready to go to bed. What is this? I missed it. God damn it! As soon as I'm
you need at least 8 hours, Dave, with your old ass, Unc. Come on, Unc.
No. I've been up since 7 o'clock, man.
Hey, shout out to Sovereign Dave, Unchained. I tell you guys right now, I'm always on these panels, and Dave's always kept it real, man. Over the last decade that I've been on YouTube, Sovereign Dave is one of the most genuine content creators. Chat, I love you. I'm sorry if I annoyed you. Everybody on the panel, God bless you. Be safe, guys. It's a crazy time to be alive. I love you guys. God bless you guys.
All right, Dave. Thanks for coming up tonight. Everybody that showed up in the chat, D-Man, Cubby, as always. It helps make a great show. And as we always like to say, don't forget the Lord loves a working man. Don't never, ever, ever trust Whitey. See your doctor, get rid of him because he'll probably kill you. And it's better to shit in the sink than it is to sink in the shit. We'll see you next time on Sovereign Soul, Unchained Mind. And we'll finish up that Lost History of Flat Earth video. Good night, everybody.